Hello, hello, hello. What's up tonight, everyone? Welcome. Fine Thursday to you all. Good to see ya. Area West W, Stone Rain Productions. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big Steve cheer for you. Roll the bones, Magical Sheep, Armagello. How is everyone doing today? It's historic time, I think. We played historic for this week's Against the Odds, and it was actually kind of fun. And there's some interesting combo decks that I want to try out in the historic format. So it is a historic night, Apocalypse, with the gift subs. Handing out a bunch of gift subs. Flames Denner, Kabbalah Pit, Poke Scrub, Who Give It, and Nate Fennelly. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big tip for you. Thank you. Stone Rain, you're too kind. Thank you so much. Hopefully everyone is having a spectacular night. So the plan for today is we got not one, not two, but three different combo decks. We're gonna start with this Altar of Dimension combo deck. That is deck number one. This is apparently the new broken thing that's destroying the historic format. I haven't tried it yet, but apparently the deck's pretty busted. We'll have to see if Ashnod's Altar is actually the new best thing going in the historic format. So we're gonna start with Ashnod's Altar combo. We also have a green-white artifact combo. This is a kind of a viewer submitted deck that I made some changes to, trying to go off with Yotan Dissident, an animation module in Ashnod's Altar. So that is also on the list. And then we also have, as a backup, a Karn combo deck that originally came from Croakies, I believe. It's playing Vintage in Historic as idea. It's got Oracle Alpha to shuffle the Power Knight in and Paradoxical Outcome to draw, and then who knows what craziness will ensue. Eventually, you can use Karn to tutor finishers out of the sideboard and maybe even win the game. So that's the plan for today. Ridiculous stuff in the Historic format. Hopefully everyone is doing wonderful tonight. Hey, what's up, Mario? How are you? Good to see you. Also today, yeah, we already played Belcher. We did Belcher a couple of streams ago. Belcher's kind of busted. Belcher might just actually be too good. Oh yeah, so it should be fun. Also today was the WotC stream. Oh my god, I don't know if any of you listened to this. Did any of you listen to WotC's fireside chat? They turned some knobs. The technology it was there to do the stream. Oh, but they didn't say anything. It was 40 minutes of the most corporate speak I've ever heard. Just everything is wonderful. Everything is good. Everything is great. If you disagree with anything we say, you're probably wrong. The one thing they did say that was kind of interesting was, because of the community's feedback to 30th Anniversary Edition, they released less of it. They didn't say they printed less of it, but it does sound like that backs up the idea that it didn't actually sell out, in part because of the negative feedback. But it was just anything that has been criticism, they're oh no, that's not actually the case. Oh no, that's good. They said, they were asked specifically about slowing the pace of sets down, and they kind of deflected, and they said, well, this past year, we had some issues because of supply chain stuff. So we ended up having there was one day where 2 sets released on the same day, and it was really cluttered. We're going to try to avoid that happening again. But so next year, we're going to make sure it's spread out. We got 6 premiere sets. They're going to be about 2 months apart. And then we're going to release micro sets in between. So it's basically, to me, it sounded like they were saying nothing's actually going to slow down. But we're going to try to make sure that we don't clump stuff together so much. So yeah, it was the most corporate, it was they had someone from some bank that really likes them that was asking the questions, and it was a CEO. It was the most corporate softball-y thing that I've ever listened to. So microset, that's a new term. I had not heard of microsets before. Apparently, that's the Hasbro term for secret layer drops for commander decks, the Warhammer commander decks. Based on the numbers, I think it's also counting Dominaria Remastered, even though it's a full size set, but it's all reprints. That's not a premiere set, so it's a micro set. Yeah, I mean, if you got 40 minutes to waste, you can check it out, but really, they did not say 6 sets a year is probably fine. But remember, that's not counting micro sets, and I'm pretty sure micro sets, I think from their definition, Double Masters or Dominaria Remastered or Warhammer Commander decks, things like that feel pretty setty, don't actually count as sets. Those are micro sets. So I think it's 4 standard sets, the Lord of the Rings set, and probably 1 set that we don't know about. It'll be interesting. So I don't think the pace is really going to slow down, but hopefully they spread it out a little bit better at least. Do you think we'll hit 2 Secret Lairs a week? I mean, Micro sets they didn't make any comments on, so apparently they make as many of those as they want. I enjoy the small sets on Hearthstone. They help shake up the meta. Yeah, it would be interesting if more of those micro sets, the smaller sets, actually impacted something like Standard. I know, like, Standard today, I was playing some Standard, and there is so much Grixis. I was glad that they were like, oh, we're going to push back Phyrexia's 1 by a week to try to slow things down in response to your feedback. But at the same time, I was like, oh my God, can we get a new Standard set, please? Please. Am I buying any Secret Lairs? I very rarely buy Secret Lairs. I think, what was the last one I got? I was going to get the... I dodged a bullet with the commander deck. I was gonna buy the commander deck, but then I didn't pay for it when I ordered it, and then when it came time to pay for it, I forgot about it, so I never actually paid for it. And then it took like a year to ship, so I mean, I kind of got lucky, I think. Aereo handing out a bunch of gift subs, Helichrome, and also the Emperor, and Danish. Oh my god, these names. Chuana, Dreamweaver, Symbols, Rubricaty, Biobird, Frankfurt, and Elenu. Thank you, Aereo SW, for all the gift subs. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big soup to you. So many gift subs tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Our reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Yesterday, we actually did some historicing yesterday. We sent some arena fools through the door of nothingness. Unshaven Drake. Hey, good evening from the US, Unshaven Drake. Good to see you. Hope all is well in the Netherlands. Actually, I think you're the US's enemy now. Didn't you just smack us in the World Cup thing? Aren't you the team that just like destroyed us? I'm pretty sure. It would have been someone, but hope all is well in Shaven Drake. A reminder that our sponsor tonight is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. If you get a free goldfish sticker, just let them know you want one in your order notes and they'll hook you up. No, well, they used to do it with Secret Lairs that you would like order them and then they charge you when they were going to ship them or something like a couple months later. So there was this weird gap where you'd like buy it, but you wouldn't really buy it and you'd have to remember to pay for it. So I wasn't like trying to not pay for it. I ordered it at the time because it felt like a good idea. And then when it came time to actually like pay it and get it shipped, I just didn't get around to doing it. So I never actually did it. But then it took like another year to ship anyway, so fair enough. Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playmat, good way to support the stream, and the channel insight donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more, get your message read on stream. Jumpstart, sadly, not coming to Arena this time, which is weird. I don't know why they didn't add it to Arena. It seems like it would add some cool cards. So hopefully everyone is doing spectacularly elite tonight. So anyway, let's talk about this deck. What are we playing for deck number 1? This is Altar Combo. So the idea of Altar Combo, we're built around Ashnod's Altar, and it's essentially a Storm style combo deck, and this is a historic only thing. So the idea of this deck, and all right, we got to talk about this a little bit. So it has been an entire year since they added Alchemy to Arena. We're not going to start playing Alchemy. But I kind of want to start playing Historic again on occasion. And I think that we just have to accept that cards from like Commander Legends, Baldur's Gate, Alchemy Horizons, or whatever, the various Alchemy sets, they just exist in Historic. I wish they didn't, I think, but they do. It's kind of like Modern Horizons. I think that's the way I'm thinking of it. So we're gonna play Historic. I'm gonna try to, do what we can to not like have an against the odds pull for Alchemy cards or whatever. And we're not gonna go that direction. But this deck, it is built around cards that originally came from Alchemy. But what can you really do about it? Like, you can't play the format and just completely ignore them. I don't know. That's where I'm at with this now, though, I think. So this deck, it's built around some cards that, come from the retro borders in the Brothers War, but also from Alchemy. So the idea of this deck, Ashnod's Altar, you probably know it from Commander, sack a creature to add 2 mana. There's Ominous Traveler, this weird colorless teardrop, then when ETBs you get to get something from its spellbook, and then there's Goblin Trap Finder, which when it dies, you get to seek a creature with mana value 3 or less, and it perpetually costs 2 less to cast, and then you sack it beginning your end step. So the idea of this is we want to Goblin Trap Finder to find Ominous Traveler. That's going to essentially make it perpetually free. Ominous Traveler, you can play it, and then when you cast the thing from its spellbook, it bounces back to your hand. So the idea is you keep getting stuff from the spellbook and sacking the stuff from the spellbook to Ashnod's Altar to basically kind of storm off, and then eventually we can get our Aetherflux Reservoir with Karn from our sideboard to win the game. So it's this super convoluted arena-y, historic-y combo deck. Apparently his deck's like really good. I wanna see if it actually works. I wanna see if it's actually possible this weird pile of cards could work. Slight sound and video desync even at 140p. We're opening the stream multiple times. Wonder if this would have the same issue in the stream with the major desync that was posted on the YouTube channel. Are other people having an issue with the stream being desynced? Huh. That's awkward. Anyone else having a desync issue? So, yeah, it's so strange. I don't know, I've heard people say that on occasion, but then I can never figure out why it's happening to some people because it isn't happening on my end. Streamer has a 90% win rate. A 90%? No. That's ridiculous. The last few streams were desynced. Really, it's so funny because like every once in a while someone says that and then most other people say it wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Desynced for me. So it's desynced for some people, but not for other people. Aww. So this deck's actually kind of legit, you think? Oh, chat, I had an idea for you. Actually, a question for you. It's incredibly consistent. Yeah, it seems like it's probably kind of busted. 93-8. This deck's gonna be man then, right? There's no way you can have a deck that's that good in the format. We have a new donation from. Also, if you have historic decks, send them over. Maybe we'll try them out. I have this Dimir Shadow list that's done really well, except against burn. That makes sense. The Neopain Lens have been good for it. Still need Collective Brutality. Here's a list. Ooh, let me see, Lucid. Let me take a look. Wait, is our opponent playing the same deck? I haven't even played against this deck yet. But apparently, maybe it's actually popular. Well, let's run out the Trap Finder. We need the Ashnod's Altar. That's what we're missing. Thank you so much for the donation, Lucid. Ooh, the deck looks sweet. Delver and Death Shadow together. I like it. Well, all right. Inquisition, you. Ouch. Opponent. Wait, are we actually having like? Are a lot of people having a desync issue? Is that an actual thing? A desync isn't good, but I don't know. Oh, it's so hard to figure out if it's not impacting everyone. Yeah, the MDFCs is a cool way to power up. Cool way to power up the Delver. Get a little more spells in your deck. Yeah, it actually looks like a mirror match. Thing I played against this deck earlier today and against Wheels, didn't stand up against it. I want to see what the combo actually looks like in practice. Like I can visualize what it's trying to do, but I want to actually see how it works. What's my favorite format? Ooh, so favorite format. Number one, modern. Number one, modern. Number two, standard comes and goes. Standard, when there's a new set, I get really hyped for it and I love it and it's probably my favorite. But then after a couple of months or sometimes shorter, depending on the set and the format, then it sort of like fades off a little bit. So modern all the time. Standard goes up and down. It's either my favorite or I like don't play it hardly at all. Pioneer I like a lot. Historic has been up and down. I used to really like Historic. How do we do this? I guess we just Fable. Yeah, let's just run out the Fable. I used to really like Historic, and then we kind of stopped playing Historic, but then I played Historic again recently, and now I'm kind of excited to try it again. Oh, EDH, I think of EDH as its like own separate thing. Maybe that's the wrong way to think about it, but I think of EDH is not the same as any of those other formats. To me, EDH is almost its own game. I don't know. Does anyone else think of EDH that way? I think of EDH as being its own game, where like, all right, we each get to seek up some stuff. So we get a free Ominous Traveler. I don't think we want to cast it this turn. I think we want to pass. I assume our opponent also has Ominous Traveler, but they don't have Ashnod's Altar either. Can we actually combo that? I thought our opponent was going to steal our Goblin and kill it. That would have been a sweet line, but they didn't do that. Yeah, I think the VDH is just its own separate thing. Like, 60 card formats are about beating the opponent. Still want to do cool things, but that's where I love to like prison people and stacks people. I want to make my opponent not play Magic. Like, if I can make you not play Magic in a 1v1 format, that is ideal for me. I view 1v1 formats as like fun being zero sum. So the more fun I have, the less you have, and the more you have, the less I have. So I want all the fun, and you'd have none of the fun. So that's kind of how I think of 60 card formats. Commander, it is exactly the opposite. In Commander, I want to like hang out with my friends and everyone have a good time. Everyone do cool things. Maybe I still win in the end. Hopefully, sometimes I still win in the end. But it's like a party game. It's like Mario Party versus, I don't know. Pick a game that's not Mario Party. that is how I think of it. I am playing your deck Super Friends with Kamal's Druidic Vow. Ooh, boy, I haven't messed around with that deck in a while. All right, opponent, are they winning? Did they draw Altar? Or oh. So wow, that is unlucky. So I think that means we're dead. So opponent, cast that for free. They pick up that. They cast it again. So this should be, oh. We're not, okay. Apparently we're not dead. Do I not understand how this combo works? Shouldn't we be dead there? Isn't that the whole gimmick of this combo, is if this happens, we die? Quada! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Belcher's busted. Yeah, we played Belcher. Maybe we'll play some more Belcher tonight. A lot of people have asked about it. We played Belcher on a couple of streams ago, and we only lost once. We were kind of just crushing people. Well, Ominous Traveler. Although, unfortunately, we have nothing to do with this. We will draft a Champion of the Perished. Play Champion of the Perished. Pick up the Ominous Traveler. Ominous Traveler. Play it again. Going to a little Ominous Traveling. Oh, no. Oh, okay. We got to take the Spirit. We want to make sure that we take something we can cast, so we end up with the Traveler in hand. All right, well, your go. Oh, so chat, I had a question for you. Have you seen anything? Have you seen any of the AI art stuff? I actually have two questions about this that I need your opinions on, chat. So number one. Well, I guess, okay, three questions. Number one, are you familiar at all with any of the AI art stuff, like the Dolly stuff, or any of the AI art? Oh, opponent top decks of Thoughtseize too. Okay, this is going to be interesting. No one gets to do anything. Any of the AI art stuff? Yeah, like where you upload a selfie or like the Dolly, any of the like any of those things. Okay, it seems like a decent amount of people at least know what it is. There's been a big debate about it in a bunch of ways. Basically, if you're not familiar with it, AI is getting really good at making art. It just like looks through all the art of history and all the styles, and you can go to like Dolly is one of the sites and just like type in anything you can think of, and it'll make a pretty good picture of it at this point. So there's been a big debate around it. One of the debates is around like the ethics of it. Essentially, like, is it fair to artists? Because the machines are like learning. The machines are learning based on actual art that exists. So artists are concerned about the ethics of it, that it's like ripping them off or stealing their art. So that's one of the things I think that's like, I think it's Dall-E, like Dall, the painter, DALL-E, I think is DALL-E is the one that I'm most familiar with. Though I think there's a bunch of them. Is it stealing? That's a question. Like, I've heard some artists say that they feel like it's stealing because the machines are learning based on existing art. Like the way the machines learn is they look at all the art in existence, all the styles of art in existence, And that's how they learn how to make their AI art. I think that's a really interesting question, because at the same time, it's like, isn't that how human artists also learn? Like, the way you learn to be an artist is you look at other people's art, and wow, these sounds are super loud today. But the way you learn as a human artist is you look at other people's art, and actually, all right, I wish we could kill this Karn. All right, go to combat. Hit the Karn. What is this? Return a creature from grave to your hand. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are we dying? Do we have an answer to this in our deck? Let's sack the Spirit. Let's see if we can tutor up something relevant. Well, I guess we can just get our own Karn. All right, no one gets to do anything. Let's go with that. No magic for anyone. And I think we have to tick up the card and pass the turn. Yeah, I think we gotta get Karn to stop the altar. So opponent can turn the altar into a creature and beat down. The other more important question, and the reason I brought this up to begin with, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not an artist, so I can see why, as an artist, people would be concerned that it's gonna diminish the value of something that they love and something that they're good at. Johnny Cycles, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you. But at the same time, I feel like they'll also eventually, I mean, I guess if it's indistinguishable and you really can't tell the difference, then it might be different. But I would assume that at some point there'll be a reaction to AI art, which maybe will make art created by actual humans more valuable again. Kind of like with music. Like, if things go too far in one direction, like in the 80s, things go too far towards like hair metal, Guns N' Roses stuff, and next thing you know, there's a reaction against that, and you end up with like the opposite, with like grunge or whatever. Like how everything goes in cycles. But the real question, though, the real question I had is, could you ever see that coming to... Oh, let me see, Maglid. Could you ever see that coming to Magic? That's the real question. Like, doesn't it seem like that would be at least a little appealing to Wizards? Do we have Pithy Needle on the sideboard? We're about to find out. It seems like that might be a little bit appealing to Wizards. Just, can this hit Planeswalkers? It can. There is no Pithing Needle. Oh, there is a Pithing Needle. The safest bet's probably just... Yeah, let's just Sky Sovereign. Shoot down the Karn. Den of the Bugbear. What a weird game. But I mean, yeah, think of how much money Wizards could make. I don't want it to happen. But I think it's going to happen. I actually think it is. It seems like it would be so appealing to Wizards because it would be so much cheaper, right? You're not paying human artists to make this amazing artwork. Instead, you're just like typing zombie into a computer program, and the computer program is giving you a zombie that looks almost as good as the one that a human could draw. The problem isn't the image itself. The problem is they literally use pieces of copyrighted images to create another. It's really inspiration. If the systems were different and people could opt in or get royalties for their stuff, it would be completely different discourse. So I guess my question is, and I think that's a legitimate perspective. At the same time, though, how different is that from a human artist? I think that's a question. Or like, I guess I look at it from a music perspective just because that's what I'm most familiar with as far as art is like making music. But in some sense, if you're a musician, your music is just like, and it sounds horrible, but it's kind of a compilation of your influences. Like, if it wasn't for the music you listened to and musicians that you respected, the song that you write wouldn't probably exist, or it definitely wouldn't sound the way it sounds. So I think that's kind of that's the part that makes me wonder. And I don't know the answer to this, but I do wonder if it's like, what's the difference between a machine looking at someone's art and then using it to create a piece of art, and a person looking at someone's art and then using it to create a piece of art. But I'm mostly curious about it if it's gonna come to Magic at some point, because it seems like with Wizards' focus on the bottom line, it would just be so appealing to them. That's my real big fear. The music equivalent is like taking a lick from the Stones, mixing it with another one from REM, and having another one from GNR and calling it your own. I mean, isn't that like remixing? Isn't that an actual like genre of music? Like, what about the Grey album or whatever, which is literally just Beatles mixed with Jay-Z? Like, isn't that an actual thing? I'm trying to think of some artist names. I never was really big into to remix music, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing. The question is, how different is it from the source art? Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. Yeah, I think that's also like probably very true. There's a big difference between looking at art to learn a style and just like copying someone's work and putting a small making some small change to like skirt copyright laws. Favorite deck for favorite formats. Ooh, so Modern's my favorite format, although I don't even know what is my favorite deck in Modern at this point. Modern is just like so it's been in such a weird state ever since Modern Horizons 2 that the decks that were my favorite usually aren't very good anymore. I still love them, but like my all-time favorite deck is just like Mono Red Prison. But Mono Red Prison, I would not ever recommend to anyone to actually try playing Mono Red Prison in Modern today. It's just not. It went from being like pretty good to being really bad. It's just the meta does not line up with it. Same with like, I guess, Amiria. I also love Amiria. Amiria is such a cool archetype. That one can still kind of work. It's definitely very tier 3. Yeah, I might have to. I want to try the legacy initiative decks, but those cards are really hard to get right now. Hey Seth, you should 100% see the AI Magic cards on YouTube sometime. They made it with not the best AI ever. One card said destroy target library. Yeah, I've seen some. There's a what was the website? I don't remember the name of it. We looked at it on stream one time. It's a website that's in a lot of those YouTube videos though, and you can click and it'll just like design a custom card. I will say, in general, I was not super impressed. I don't think we're anywhere. Oh, there's a great card market video where they try to actually play, with the custom cards, and it is just like a disaster. One of them is, I remember one of them was Protection from Crim though, and oh my god, I would play a Protection from Crim card so much in Commander. That would be my dream. I mean. Yeah, I think that's a good point, Stone Stonks. Like, the conversation is happening now with art, but this is going to happen pretty much everywhere. And, I mean, I think there's an easy solution, right? Like, shouldn't this be the best thing in the history of humanity, like, for all of us? Like, hey, what's up, Elf? This should be, right? Shouldn't this is like this is like the dream. Like, you get the machines that are to a point where they're so good at doing things that they can do all the stuff that we don't want to do, and then we can do the stuff that we do want to do. The problem is just like our economy is not set up for that. The way our economy is set up now is a very small percentage of people will get all of the benefits from this, and everyone else will just be kind of, I guess, out of luck, more or less, where it's just like, unfortunately, you know, you didn't create this AI program. You know, sorry, like, and you lose your job now. Like, you're an artist, and now your job just isn't as useful as it used to be. So there really needs to be, I mean, I don't know. I think there needs to be some sort of like some sort of like universal basic income or something. I think that's the solution. Like there needs to be a universal basic income or something for all the people who are going to lose their jobs because of this. So everyone has a stable and comfortable standard of living, and then it should be great. Then like then the machines can do all the work we don't want to do, and everyone wins. Hey, enjoy the bachelor party. I think the hardest part of A Magic cards would be encapsulating the lore story. Yeah, I think that's something. If you look at the AI Magic cards that exist now, and I think they'll get better, but the AI Magic cards that I've seen that exist now are they're either boring and missing out on like the lore and flavor aspect. They're just dull. They're just like, oh, sure, it's fine. It's a 2-mana 2/2 or something. There's nothing broken about it. It's a card that they could print, but there's just nothing that's exciting about it. So that's one of the designs. And the other designs are just like straight up doesn't work. Where it's just like the text is all garbled or it does something it doesn't work between the rules. There's been very few AI cards that I've seen where I'm like, wow, that's really sweet. Like it's a unique design, it's on point flavor wise, and it works within the rules. Very, very few of those that I've seen. Art is going to be the only profession left over when the robots take over. Yeah, isn't there a Futurama where the robots take over? I think that's a trope in many sci-fi things, but AI has been trained to play Magic. I mean, do you think the AI could ever learn to play Magic good enough to beat humans? I feel like Magic's hard enough that it wouldn't work. I feel like Magic is a complex enough game. I don't know. I don't think you're going to build a computer that beats Paulo or LSV or whatever, Kai or whatever. I mean, maybe eventually, but I don't think we're to that place yet. Or am I wrong? Are we to the point already where is computing that good that it can learn a game with as many variables as Magic and actually beat the best human players? Everything about Arena calls into question that possibility. Come back to me when Auto Tapper works. Then we'll consider if Magic AI can actually beat the best players in the world. I mean, it's true for a lot of games though, right? Like CS:GO or chess or whatever. Like a lot of those games with less variables, computers are already ahead of humans. I'm pretty sure. Opponent. But chess has a lot less variables. And I think it's also easier to learn just the way I'm not a chess master by any stretch. I'm not even that great at chess. But I think it would be much easier to learn because of how like the opening moves work and everything is kind of logically laid out. Computers rule the game. Go, arguably the most complex game. I mean, what makes Magic so complex though is just like the sheer amount of variables, especially if you get to like Legacy or a format where the whole card pool is available, it gets really tricky. Like that's a lot to learn. There's just not Magic does have variants, but I was meaning more variables. There's just so many rules and there's so many card interactions where a single card can do so many different things because what the card does is dependent on what other cards you draw and what other cards are in your deck. Ugh, well, take the Ashnod's Altar. Fatal Push the Ominous Traveler. Play the land untapped. Sack the Socialite, I think. I have no idea what I'm doing here. Trap Finder. I think we want the Trap Finder. All right, go ahead. We are stumbling through this combo. The code can be complex, but the computer will have to be as good as the person who coded it. It's a probability game. All I know is the current situation is really crap because not even a year ago, there was a similar AI situation with voice actors, and he unanimously thundered it down and made that stuff go away. So my sadness for visual artist friends didn't get off so easily as my voice artist friends is a little upsetting. Yeah, I can definitely see that, Magikarp. Although I think, as someone brought up earlier, and I think it's very true, I think this is like a bigger issue than voice acting or artists. Like, I think this is a societal issue where this is gonna keep happening. Like, I don't know how. I don't think you can unring the AI bell at this point. So I feel like this is just going to keep popping up in music and art and voice acting and photography. Like name a thing, pick a thing, and this is going to probably come up in it eventually. So I think the real solution is to like grapple with the big picture if possible, which I'm sure is going to be really hard. But I think that's what we gotta. As a society, what the best solution is, rather than trying to do it piecemeal, because it's just going to keep happening. I need an AI that can take my dog for a walk. That's the big one. That's a big one. What that? Please. Hey, Bearby, where are you, bud? AirUSW, thank you for the cheer. I don't remember the channel's name, but it was hosted by a Google engineer. He did a build an AI that played Mono White Soldiers. Yeah, I saw at least one of those videos. I can't remember if it was a 2-part video, but yeah, I saw at least one of those, and it was very interesting. I'll have to look it up and see, because I thought they said they were going to do a second part of it. Ooh, all right, opponent. Thought seizes us. Oh, what a weird janky battle. Opponent. We're down to 9, so we're kind of losing the fair battle here. Our hand is loaded, but we're just so far behind the beatdown plan. I want to see the there is an infinite combo in this deck, right? Isn't that the end game? Am I missing it? Is there not an infinite combo? Ellie War, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Well, let's do a little traveling. Grab a 3/3 is actually kind of good in a world of 2/2s. When everything's a 2/2, the 3/3 is king. Affinity to Squirtle. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. The problem with this kind of technology is that when no one is prepared for it, before someone posted that AI, when we're established sense of morality and laws regarding it, it wouldn't be as messy as it is now. I mean, that's kind of the story of the internet to some extent, right? There's so much of like just our society and our legal system and all of that was just not designed with the internet in mind, because it didn't exist when all the laws were being created. Oh yeah, the Google guy does Mono White Soldiers video is definitely worth watching, I think. I don't know if I agree with every part of it, but it's interesting enough. Okay, let's see if we can do this. So we play this. Oh, I don't think we can. Wow, we're so close and yet so far away. Okay, is there any way out of this? Ashnod's Altar's 3. We sack this, we get the Goblin. All right, I don't think this works, but we play this. We sack this, we make 2 mana. We play Ominous Traveler. We get Champion of the Perished. We play Champion of the Perished. Yeah, we're a mana short. If we could tutor up the Goblin, we might be able to go off. How does this combo actually... Has anyone actually seen this combo go all the way off? Am I misunderstanding this? Is there a world where we fully go infinite, or is that not actually what this deck does? Ooh, what archetype are you building, Jeff? But shouldn't there be like an infinite storm loop? So you just have to... So basically, the problem is we haven't had Trap Finder to reduce the cost on Traveler. Like, if we get the Trap Finder to reduce the cost on Traveler, and then we have Altar, as long as we keep hitting things that are 2 mana or less from the spellbook, we storm off, right? That's the idea. Like, if we hit something that's 1 mana, we gain mana. If we hit something that's 2 mana, we break even. And then hopefully we just keep doing that forever. Well, let's run out we have the Trap Finder this game, which is good about it. once you find Horseman, so the cards in the actual spellbook actually matter too. Opponent's going to duress us. That sounds like an infinite amount of clicks. Maybe we're going back to Belcher. Belcher takes no clicks. No clicks at all. You just kill him. Hey, Seth, I love the fact that you liked Rudolph as well, but I think you missed a cool mechanic with him. I built him with Extort. The main goal was to equip him with World Slayer to win the game. Ooh, and lose friends. Rudolph does seem like a really cool Extort command. I did not think about going Extort with Rudolph at all. That's a sweet idea. I like it. Oh, speaking of commander, let's say you're playing a commander game and your goal was to win. You're like CDHing essentially, trying to build the strongest deck possible. You're not trying to make friends. You're not trying to have fun. For this one specific game, the goal is to win. However, the twist is that you only have a $100 budget. $100 budget, strongest possible deck. Not the most fun deck or anything like that. What commander do you build? Oh, I wish we had another land here. Do we travel? Yeah, let's just pass. Winota would probably be pretty good on a $100 budget. Elf Ball. Ooh, can you play the good finishers? I'd have to look at elf prices. Can you play? Wouldn't have Crater Hoof. Heritage Druid is probably cheap enough. Tetova land, yeah, some sort of landfall deck. Omnath or Tetova or Asai, something like that would probably be very strong. In fact, creatures are cheap. The pump spells are cheap. I can't wait to get Preston. I really need a copy of Preston for my mono white blink deck. Move over, Adrian Abdul. You have been replaced by a rabbit wizard. Miram seems strong. Iara, I could see Iara being good. Oh dear. All right, opponent. Karn, the Great Creator. Well, this didn't go especially well because we are not hitting land drops. Opponent's going to take down the Karn. Oh, this is... Oh, my goodness. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, we hit a tap Castle Lockwade. I mean, we're just... The problem is we're just getting Karn locked here. This is Karn eat all of our lands. And I think we're done. I don't think we can win from here. With a Karn eating a land. Missing that land drop is going to just lose us this game. Oh, Vadric could be good. The high fantasy. What is the deal with the Rabbit Wizard? Is that a high fantasy thing? How can we submit decks to you? Stick them right in the chat. I mean, you can also email them to me, saffron@mtgoldfish.com. But if you have, yeah, this is a weird matchup. Let's give it another match or two. I mean, we got backup decks anyway, so if it continues to not be entertaining, well, we will switch it up. But I really want to see the combo. This has just been a really weird battle because it's just everything about it's really weird. Well, can we win with no lands? The question of the day. I assume that Karn is going to get... Why has Karn not got banned anywhere yet? Hey, Seth, I recently joined an in-person EDH league. We draw land, which is decent. Well, Now what? We still got to be careful of our opponent just going infinite, too. Hitting the land is helpful, though. So, go to combat, attack the Karn. Everything at Karn. Opponent blocks the Traveler. Sure. Well, Kolaghan's Command. 2 damage, blow up an artifact. Well, I mean, we got out from under the Karn and the liquid metal coating. We are super shields down for our opponent going infinite here, though. Am I going to buy Dominaria Remastered? I think that Dominaria Remastered is a single set for me. I feel like it's gonna be a huge gamble. It's so hard to calculate the full EV, especially quickly these days with so many variants that you can open and retro and borderless, foil, non-foil. There's so many versions of cards and it's hard to get the very precise EV. But my impression is just looking at the set and the card prices, the top end's really good. The best mythics and even the best rares are really valuable. So the good boxes are going to be really good. On the other hand, there's a lot of bulk rares on the other side. The bad boxes are going to be really bad. So I think they're just going to be very high risk. So I think it depends on how much you like gambling, essentially. Like if you're okay with like, if I open this box that cost me $250 or whatever dollars, I could get $400 of value and I could get $100 of value. Then that's fine. I think the safe plan though, the draft format looks amazing. If you're going to draft it, buy it. Like, I think this is going to be an all-timer draft format. Just looking at the archetypes, Storm, Cycling, Blink, so many classic cards. I think that it is, as far as draft is concerned, is going to be absolutely spectacular. So if you're going to draft it, go for it. Because I think the fun is totally going to be worth it. And then you still get cool cards. But if you're just going to crack them open, probably worth it just to like grab the tutors or whatever you need. About it. Untap land duress. So opponent tutored. I mean, we could be dead, right? Well, I guess we're probably not dead if we play Karn. Well, I mean, let's do that. Land Karn. They do have a Den of the Bugbear. Yeah, let's just tick up. Well, we're not going to die with the Karn out, I don't think. About it. Any alt art from Jumpstart that you love? I mean, some of the anime art's okay. Some of it's okay. I don't know. Animes, I've just never been an anime person. So it's not like super exciting for me personally, just because anime is not my thing, but it looks fine. I will say, we were trying to figure this out. Someone messaged me and was a little concerned about the anime art. The anime art, that it might be too risque or whatever. And I was like, no, I don't think you got to worry about it. It's fine. Like, Wizards wouldn't print anything too risque. And then this came up on one of our podcasts. What do you think of this dragon art? What is going on with this dragon? This is the one piece of the anime art in the set that everyone's kind of like, what's happening here? What is going on with Rampacious Dragon? Jake the Cleric, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Yeah, the dragon. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It looks like it ate something very spicy, right? You are right. But I mean, the anime art's, it's fine. The Karn looks cool. I know if you're interested in the anime art, Crim loves it. Like the anime art's, it's kind of Crim's thing. Like Crim actually has like anime podcasts and whatnot. Look up the artists. I don't know if this is a good idea. Is this a trap? Are we about to get banned from Twitch forever by looking up a magic artist? You know what? Maybe I'll do that off stream and then we'll go from there. As a general rule, I don't know about just typing the Rampacious Dragon artist into Google on stream. Yeah, Stitcher Supplier looks really good. It could be a trap. We can win this turn, can we? The problem is I don't think we have an Ashnod's altar in our sideboard. I mean, we're going to tutor, but I don't think we have an altar that we can get. So we can Wish Claw. 1, 2. We don't have enough mana to Wish Claw and win. Oh dear. Are we in trouble? Long nap! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Am I missing a way that we can win? Alright, we'll take Wishclaw. We'll play the land. We'll play Wishclaw. We'll play Falconwrath Pit Fighter. We'll pass the turn. Okay, so assuming we untap with this, we should be able to combo next turn, and we have a Fatal Push. So as long as we don't die, and this Wishclaw doesn't get blown up, we should be good. What is the best art set of the year? I know we talked about this during the last stream when we watched the spoilers. The World Gorger Dragon looks, I think that looks spectacular. I'm curious what else is in the running for best art of the year. Yeah, we'll just kill this thing. Kill this gob. Unsure why our opponent wanted that to be dead. About it. Free Traveler. But our opponent can't win, right? Without Ashnod's Altar, and they don't have Ashnod's Altar. Just like getting stuff from the spellbook shouldn't be able to actually beat us. Opponent. It's fine. All right, I will. Let me see. Let me see if I can find the artist's name. I will. Let me pull it up and see. Oh no, how do I? Hang on. Scryfall is probably the easiest way, actually. All right. I'm checking. Actually, I don't hardly see anything for this art. There's like, it's basically the Rampacious Dragon. Huh. I don't know, maybe Yumi Azuno isn't actually a super well-known artist? About it. Casting it all. Picks up the Traveler. This doesn't matter, though, right? Opponents use all their mana. They've done all their things. They've cast all their stuff. They've used almost all their time. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Hey, what's up, Infinity? I'm doing great. How are you today? Opponent. I mean, I think our opponent's realizing that they're dead. No matter what they do. Combo time. Finally get to combo. Opponent steals our Pit Fighter. And combat. This does work, right? We do win here, right? Goes attacking. Yeah, I couldn't find any art by the artist either. There's not an easy way to copy and paste the Japanese spelling of the name that I know of, so that might make it better. Maybe. All right, no blocks. Stuff dies. Opponent draws. We dropped to 13. Karn is down. But we get to Wishclaw Talisman. Okay, let's see if we can execute this combo. Wishclaw Talisman gets Ashnod's Altar. Ashnod's Altar is played. We sack Goblin Trap Finder. It gets us a Trap Finder. We play a Trap Finder. Can we please get a Traveler here? Okay, there's a Traveler. We play the Traveler. We draft from the spell book. So what is our goal with this now? If we're not winning with Etherflux Reservoir, we're eventually gonna... We're eventually gonna what? Okay, the combo is here. Pit Fighter generates mana. Play the Pit Fighter. So we're trying to find... We're trying to find the zombie. The zombie that makes zombies when it dies and then give all of our stuff haste. I think. Oh, the dominate? I guess just dominating vampire to give everything haste, probably. Maybe that's the easiest way. So if we whiff, we get to oh, we gotta sack some stuff. Okay. Do a little sacking. Wow, what a convoluted combo. Sack a Pit Fighter, Vampire Zone. Okay, we are gonna win here. We're gonna win. We're doing it. We're doing it. We're looking for men's, and also dominating vampires. Those are the winners. Those are the things we're looking for. We have not found any of them yet. We're finding all vampire socialites for some reason. Vampire socialites that kind of, well, they're just respins, I guess. All right. Wow, are we gonna time out? Exploring Anthology looks oh no, that's a whiff. That actually cost us mana. Exploring Anthology looks really good. It looks really good. Traveler. Okay, there's a Headless Rider. Headless Rider's good. That helps. Now I guess we want zombies. Headless Rider is good because it generates mana. Because when a zombie dies, we get a token that we can sack to Ashnod's altar. So now zombies make double mana, essentially. Except that's a vampire. What did you think of the new Secret Lair drops? Hey, there we go. There we go. Champion of the Perished. We're getting there. We're getting there. Wow, this requires a lot of clicking. Even if this deck is good, it's hard for me to imagine this deck will ever be very popular, because who wants to sit through it? Who actually, hey, dominating vampire. Who actually wants to sit through? Who actually wants to sit through this number of clicks? Steal your vampire. Traveler. Pit Fighter. Play the Pit Fighter. Pick up the Traveler. Play the Traveler. Get a zombie. Sack a Do we not time out going through this loop? I'm surprised that we're not timing out yet. It feels like we should be timing out by now. Well, zombie. Oh, I am about as lost as you are. This is the first time I've played the deck, and it's magic adjacent, I would say. Not exactly magic, but it's adjacent to magic, sort of. Well, let's do some sacking. Makes you feel sad inside. Sure, we don't need that. I'll sack the token. Mill that. It is very solitaire-ish. Hey, what's up, Mad Java? How are you? Sack. Mill. 6 mana floating. Oh, we want to keep the champion? Aw. Well, guess what? We'll find another one. That is the power of casting Ominous Traveler an infinite number of times. Sooner or later, we will find it all. Yeah, I guess it would make sense to start growing it. Yeah, Karn is good against it. Oh, 2 of these? Okay. Well, Archghoul Thraben. Yeah, we probably should have kept the Archghoul Thraben. We probably should have kept it just to grow into a huge threat to attack with. Traveler. Pit Fighter. All right, do some sacking. Oh, this deck, this game. I thought our opponent was tapping out, but now it's or timing out. Now it's us who might be timing out. Sag it. Make some mana. Get some triggers. Do it again. Hey! Blooders would be so good. Hey, Frankie Robin! Thank you for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. Oh no, we are gonna time out. It's happening. Why is the clock running? Oh no. Does this combo? Oh, I'm so dumb. Leaving Karn on top of the deck actually does do something. So if we find a Karn, oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Okay, so there is a way to loot. I didn't realize there was a way to loot in the spellbook. So finding a Karn and putting it on the top of our deck is actually helpful. Wait, are we... Does this end? Do we do all this and then time out and lose? Is that how this is going? That is absurd. That is absurd. So we do all this and it doesn't even actually matter because the clock is just going to run out. And then our opponent gets to go infinite. Okay. Do some attacking. Arena does not like this combo, does it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Can we do it in time? I don't think we can. Oh my goodness, we drew it too. We didn't have time to do anything. We needed to play the Headless Rider. If we had drawn that 1 second earlier, we Karn, we tutor the Etherflux Reservoir, we cast any spell and we win the game. About it. Ominous Traveler. Reservoir would have done it, yeah. Oh, maybe this deck seems horrible. Yeah, I don't think it actually stops them because I think our opponent can just... They can probably do enough the slow way to kill our Karn. Yeah, I gotta say I'm not impressed. If you aren't guaranteed to win before the clock runs out, what is the point? Like that's just like the most high variance thing I've ever seen. It's just like... So you're like just hoping to hit the right things before arena times you out. That doesn't actually feel like magic to me. I mean, we deterministically would have won given infinite time. Like I wonder, that's kind of like Four Horsemen or something. It's like you will win eventually, but it's 100% based on randomness. Would this deck be legal in Paper Magic? Like, I know you can't play it in Paper Magic because all the cards don't exist there, but I don't think it'd be legal. I think if you tried to play this deck in a paper tournament, I think the judge would tell you it was illegal. Four Horsemen is a combo deck that is built around... It's built around looping through your graveyard until with Emrakul to shuffle your graveyard back in and Narcomoebas until you happen to mill your deck in the correct order to actually win the game. So you will win. You will win eventually. There's no doubt about it. It's 100% that you will win the game. Does this have trample? There's too much text for me to actually read. No. We kind of want the Karn to live. Actually, maybe we don't care about the Traveler. Block, 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 block. All right, that seems fine. So Karn lives. Goes to 2. We get a zombie. We are in no position to combo off, though. And our opponent has Ominous Traveler, and we don't. So I assume this is still... Okay, Thoughtseizes is our Headless Rider. So I'm still not even sure that we actually win from here. I kind of think we don't. What a... Yeah, this is the weirdest thing about it. If the win count is deterministic and there's no possible other outcome, it could be legal in a way a combo dex works. I know. My opinion. Yeah, well, this is definitely an accidental mirror match. We did not sign up for this. No. No. Yeah, maybe we can win by attacking. Opponent does have 2 blockers now, though. We draw an Inquisition. Well, Inquisition. Inquisition, you. Take the Traveler. Take up card. Turn the altar into a 3/3. Play the land. Get Jengatha. Pass the turn. Oh, the 3 damage from the vehicle cannot hit face. Creatures or planeswalkers? About it. Trap Finder. So they can sack it and go back to doing what they were doing before to try to make a board. Can't go infinite, though, because they don't have... I mean, I guess this probably ends with our opponent timing out now. Because we're ahead on clock. About it. Goes to combat. Everything at the Karn. So our opponent is going to try to time out, but they're going to learn that... they're going to learn that the clock is not in their favor. I made an Atog deck called 4 Horsemen. It's built around Atla as a hidden commander and 4 Eminence commanders as a horseman and all the changelings. Ooh, let me see, Holith. I do love Atog commander decks. Howl Bagpiper. Opponent passes. Well, we'll play Jengatha, I guess. Go. Opponent. Wow, actually gonna tutor, okay. Yeah, this is like not exactly Magic. It's like kind of somewhere around Magic, but not exactly there. So opponent, they are going to attempt a combo. Although the bad news for them is there is 0 chance they are doing this in 1 minute and 8 seconds. I do not believe it is possible. So chat, let's enjoy this next minute. Yeah, that's about as long as an arena game can go. It is a little Momiry. Thankfully, so my thinking was, okay, so this is just like Modern with Modern Horizons. But no, it's not exactly. Modern with Modern Horizons feels, yes, Modern Horizons cards are a little OP, but it still feels like a game of Magic. This feels, I don't know what this feels like exactly. I know our opponent would win here, but they didn't scoop for us. So I don't think we're just gonna scoop, like, because we also would have won if it wasn't for the clock, like, several turns ago. So I kind of feel like we deserve to win this game. Does anyone play casual Momir anymore in Moto? I've been sitting in the casual queues every day all week, no takers. Momir, I don't think sees nearly as much play as it used to. The only time I ever play Momir now, it's really, wow. What a game. It's really kind of slidden in the wrong direction. There used to be Momir leagues where you could actually do a straight up competitive league of Momir. We're going to switch decks in a minute to one of the other combo decks, but we got to try this in not the mirror match, because I think that was just like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Main win con is to get a big ass champion and get hasted by the VAP. Okay, I think that Karn is also a pretty legit win con. If you can, I realized it too late. We do have a way in the spellbook to draw a card. So if we can dig through our deck until we get a Karn on top of it with the zombie that lets us surveil, then we draw a Karn and win that way. So that would also be a legit win con. Momir should be permanent on Arena. 1,000,000%. Let me see, Jeff. I would say like I think the reason we don't see those decks show up, or those formats show up permanently, is just, I think it's finances. As sad as that is, but I think when it comes down to it, like, Momir is not the most profitable format for Wizards. Wow, this is, I think, the nut draw. We do need to draw like one more land, but this is pretty close to the nut draw. But I think like Momir, you buy the avatar or whatever, and you're going to go forever. They could twist some knobs and make it happen. There's always a knob to twist. If there's anything we learned from the last stream, I feel like every time we watch a WotC stream, there's a new meme. Momir's on Arena, but it was Arena only cards that I didn't like it. Yeah, I will say it was Arena Momir is, I think it's still fun, but I do find it less enjoyable. Why we can't find this land? Well, let's do a little traveling. Hit you for one. Gladiator should be as well, yeah. I wish that Arena was more supportive of some of those more fringe formats. Someone asked about Anthology. I think wait, do we win now? Is that how this works? Do we literally just win from being tapped out here? Is that deck this busted? If we win from being tapped, oh, okay, we don't win from being, well, yeah, we don't, okay. Well, let's do a little, we drew the wrong thing. We drew another Traveler. We'll take a Headless Rider for the future. Pass the turn. Please don't kill our stuff. Kingo Sharks. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So when Trap Finder dies, we seek a creature mana value 3 or less. The only options are Ominous Traveler or Trap Finder. In that case, we really need to hit a Traveler, not a Trap Finder, because we don't have the mana to cast the Trap Finder. We know, given enough time, well, you might as well fizzle that. Given enough time, we'll hit it eventually. So what cards from the new Anthology do I like? Let me see if I can pull up the Anthology. Once we should have that next Thursday. So once we get the new Anthology, oh no. Can we please stop drawing Ominous Travelers? That would be an awkward way to lose. Just draw the Travelers naturally. All right, Trap Finder. There it is, Traveler. And here we go. Okay, so now we know what we're trying to do. We know what we're trying to do. We have a plan. We have a plan. We have hopes and dreams. So we cast that. We cast the Traveler. I guess we keep taking zombies. Oh, we don't get all the way, though. Sag that. Cast the Headless Rider. Probably also Heartless. Hang on, let's do this combo, and then we'll talk about Anthology. Sack the zombie. Pit Fighter. Can we do it without timing out? That is the real question. We comboed pretty early here, which might be a bad thing. Well, that's a freebie. So sack this. Another Headless Rider. I mean, we got all the mana. We just need a way to actually win the game. Oh, let's take the Pit Fighter. Sack one of these. Make a couple zombies. This is just like a click simulator. It doesn't... It doesn't exactly feel like a game of Magic. And oh my god, is there a lot of clicks. The largest amount of clicks that I've ever seen. Well, sack you. Also sack you. Can we do it without... Are we going to time out again? Am I doing this wrong? Is there like something I'm obviously doing wrong that other people play this deck without timing out? Am I just bad at playing this deck for some reason? Headless Rider, pick up the Traveler, replay the Traveler. Or is it really just the randomness of, okay, there's a Champion of the Perished. That should be helpful, right? So if we Champion of the Perished, we can grow that a bunch. Okay. And then eventually we hit the Vampire that gives haste? Yeah, Combo Demonstrator would be nice. Play the Traveler. Another Champion of the Perished. Okay, life is looking up. Sack, Champion of the Parish. Okay, so we just gotta find a way to give haste. That's it. If we find a way to give haste, we just win. That's the final piece of the puzzle. Can we do it in time? Oh, okay, that's haste. So we sack this Archghoul, make some zombies. Get some triggers. Grow the zombies. Grow the zombies. Oh, that also gives haste. Okay, sack a zombie. Sack a zombie. This is silly. We're gonna switch decks after this, I promise. I just wanted to see if this combo actually was deserving of the hype. Because there'd been a lot of chatter about this being broken. It does seem pretty absurd, I will say. Like, this would have been turn 3. We're just going like ultra infinite. So Dominating Vampire. Give one of these haste. Play an opponent scoops it up. Wow. So the other combos on our list, there's a vintage and historic combo that originally came from Crokies, which is Oracle the Alpha shenanigans, essentially, with paradoxical outcome, trying to storm off, essentially, with paradoxical outcome, with Oracle the Alpha, putting Black Lotuses and other just busted Power 9 stuff into the deck. There's also this kind of interesting viewer-submitted Yotani Dissident combo deck, which I made a few updates to, but it's trying to go infinite-ish with Yotani Dissonant and Animation Module to put counters on it in Hardened Scales, and then if you have the Ashnod's Altar, you get to make a bunch of tokens and sack those and make a whole bunch of infinite tokens. So yeah, this one is bad. I mean, this combo seems busted, but it seems like one of the worst decks to stream with I could ever imagine. What do you think, Chat? How enjoyable is this deck to watch? I will not send you my Emery combo deck. What's your Emery combo deck look like? Well, let me see. Not Harmonicon. Ooh, the opposite of Harmonicons. I like it. Some Torpor Orb shenanigans. Basically, Torpor Orb aggro. I think strategies like this are interesting because they used to be way too inconsistent. It wasn't that long ago that we only had Torpor Orb, but then we got Hushbringer, and then we also got Strict Proctor. So now we have all these Torpor Orb effects, which I think actually makes the like stifle your own stuff plan seem pretty legit now. So that might be something that's worth exploring more. Oh, also, Mr. Second Amendment, welcome to the Fishbowl for this 17th month. I'm so happy I made it to the stream. Hope all is well. All is wonderful, Mr. Second Amendment. Hopefully all is well with you. Good to see you. Well, let's do some ominous traveling. I made a deck to text the scry function. I don't have enough cards. I don't have enough, I made a deck to text the scry function. I don't have enough cards to make the deck. I'm not sure if it's good enough to actually win, though, because I don't play this style. Can you take a look? Let me take a look. Historic scry tester. So the idea is to see, so how would scry be broken? I mean, I would be surprised if this deck was super competitive. It should be good at testing the scry function. But a lot of the scry cards are a little below the curve. Oh, his idea to, like, actually win? Oh, I thought you meant broken like bugged. You meant broken like OP. Oh. So I would say, with testing it, Holy Lolf, how do we do this? Yeah, let's just Fable the Meow Breaker. I would say the path forward for the deck would be, if you get the cards for it, I think it's probably going to be worth it to try to, like, turn some of the 2-ofs into 4-ofs. So I think it'll be a matter of playing the deck a bit and being like, okay, let's see. Ingarune Eyes, it didn't feel that good. Maybe I cut that, but Charming Prince felt really good. So let's go up to 4 copies of Charming Prince. So I think there's potential with, like, the blinking, churning through your deck with Scry plan, I think. But I think it's going to be a matter of focusing in on, as far as winning much with it, I think it's going to be a matter of focusing in on the good cards and cutting some of the weaker cards. Have I seen the Fireside Chat? Yeah. Yeah, I watched it. Did anyone else watch it? Do I play Explorer sometimes? I do. I've played more Pioneer recently. But we will definitely play a lot of Explorer once we have the anthology, which is coming next week. So expect next week. There's a bunch of stuff I want to try. I want to try some of the off-color Devotion decks. That's one of the things I'm most hyped about, is like Black Devotion, Red Devotion, Blue Devotion, the non-green Devotion decks. Intrigued by Eldrazi. Excited to try Black-Green Elves. I think Shaman of the Pack, even though Elves isn't like super strong in the format, could be pretty good. So I'm excited about that. Obviously, Mono Red is kind of a thing. We could revisit Aristocrats with another Blood Artist effect. Garuda, I guess, with Clever Impersonator. Eerie Interlude is just a fun blink card too. Maybe blink some Siege Rhinos or something. So yes, I do play Explorer, and we will play some Explorer in the pretty near future once we get the rest of these anthology cards. Ooh, wait, do we win? Not yet. Close. You know, every time you scry, you seem to draw the same card you scry to the bottom. With just 2 of each copy of the card you see. Oh, okay, so it is. Okay. So you are trying to see if scrying is bugged. That makes. I went back and forth. At first I thought that's what you meant. That you were trying to see if scrying was literally bugged. And then I thought you meant you were trying to break the scry mechanic from a gameplay perspective. Like, see how strong it was? And I was like, oh, I don't think that deck is. I don't think that deck's gonna do it exactly. But that makes more sense. So I will say I had a similar idea and did a similar thing on Magic Online. And I tried it. And it didn't seem like it was bugged. Although I was doing it in best of one, and I'm not sure if, or not best of one, I was doing it essentially against Sparky, a 1-player game. And I'm not sure if that's the same as playing in a normal league against an opponent. So I think to really do the test, we'd have to actually play that deck through some games against a real live opponent, not just played against Sparky. I will say I have, especially on Magic Online, it feels like that bug exists, but I don't think it actually does exist. All right, let's see if we can spin it to win it here. So we get the Trap Finder. We play the Trap Finder. We sack the Trap Finder. Oh! Oh, that's a traveler. That is a ominous traveler, and that's also a champion of the perished, which we will play and pick up the traveler. All right, I mean, this should theoretically be game. In theory. Although we might actually have to sack the... We might have to sack this champion of the perished this time. Okay, so, well... Oh no, that's not good. Oh, there's a Shieldred. All right, we don't want to draft Shipwreck Settlers anymore. Well, that one's free. Sack this. Play this. Actually, I don't know if we're in a position to win yet. Oh, okay. Will you stop drawing the looting spirit? Please. Please. Please, Spellbook. Please. Anything but that. We're a little tight on man. Like, we should get there. Okay, there's a Headless Rider. The Headless Rider is going to change things. Although I do think we're going to have to sack... I mean, we have the Karn this time, right? So we should be able to just cast a bunch of spells and then... Oh, yeah, this should be super easy. I forgot that we have the Karn in hand. I forgot we have Karn in hand. Not a fan of Historic, Sweaty Pants. I mean, that's fair. Not everyone is a Historic fan. All right, let's play the Karn. Takedown. I mean, if you're not a fan of this deck, don't worry, because we're going to switch it shortly. Get the Reservoir. I wish I knew how many spells we'd cast. You know what? We're just going to assume that it's... Actually, we need that back in our hand, though. So play this. We're going to assume that this is enough. If it's not, then that's unfortunate. Then that's unfortunate. Sag the zombie, sag the zombie. It's got to be enough, right? Is it got to be enough? Actually, it's definitely not enough, is it? We would have had to cast 40 spells. So we got to keep comboing. All right. All right. This deck is just too annoying to win with. If we could cast 2 spells, it would be much easier. I think if we can cast 2 spells after we play the... If we can cast 2 spells after we play the Aetherflux Reservoir, we should be able to win. Whether or not we can get into that position, that remains to be seen. Gonna have to hit some cheap stuff. All right, Ominous. Well, we are casting 2 spells every time we go through the loop. So, like, that's right there is like 3 spells. Oh, if we kill ourselves to... If we kill ourselves to the Shieldred, I swear. Oh, we have a land drop. Oh, that makes it way easy. Okay, we're going for it. We're going for it. If we don't win, we don't win. That's fine. I'm tired of clicking. Aetherflux Reservoir. Ominous Traveler. Up to... Okay, we're good. We're good. Grab whatever. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. This is fine. Sack the Ominous Traveler. Play the Ominous Traveler. Trigger. Up to 59. Take whatever. And... Reservoir to the face. Oh. All right. New deck. New deck. I will say, Eidolon of the Great Revel might help shut this combo down, too. Eidolon of the Great Revel does just straight up make it not work, right? You make it as pleasant as it could possibly be. Well, I appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk about this deck real quick. New deck. We're not going to spend our entire night clicking a million times. Too many clicks. As we switch, a reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Which deck would you play after the release of Explorer Anthology 2, from a fun perspective or from a competitive perspective? From like, what do I want to try out, or from a what do I think would win a tournament or would be the one of the best decks? It is basically eggs with Hearthstone cards. Eggs with Hearthstone cards. I mean, from a fun perspective, I'm really hyped to try the off-color devotion decks, the non-green devotion decks. Those are the ones I'm most excited for. I love mono black devotion. I love mono blue devotion. Those are some of the ones that's what I'm looking forward to the most, I think, is Nykthos decks that are not green. If you want to win, Nykthos decks that are green are going to be, I mean, green is already really good in Explorer, even without Nykthos, and now it gets Nykthos. Do I think that Nykthos should be banned? It's on the fence. It's very close. I can see arguments for it. My preference would be, yeah, we're gonna try the Oracle deck. My preference would be, I would rather see Karn banned first, because I want Nykthos to exist for the non-green devotion decks. And then if green is still overpowered, then we can talk about Nykthos. But I'd rather start with something that's not Nykthos. Explorer Anthology comes out next Thursday, a week from today. Mono Green Devotion, I believe it's complete. I'm pretty sure. I mean, and honestly, we got a new donation to look at. We haven't talked about this too much. Jothuda, $3 donation. Hey, kind of new player here. I created a cheap ist deck to play against friends around Ivy Spell Thief because for some reason I have one. As I said, kind of new player. Any improvements, recommendations? Well, Josh Thua, thank you so much for the donation. And I gotta say, Ivy is super cool. Ivy is one of my favorite cards from Dominaria United. It's just such a fun card to build around. So I think the plan looks sweet. Pump spells, counters, get down your Ivy, double trigger. I will say, as far as bits of feedback, it depends a little bit on, oh, I guess you have some protection in the sideboard. I was going to say some way to protect Ivy, unless your friends are just not really playing removal spells, but Tameo Safekeeping, really, really helpful there. I'm not sure about Wall of Blossoms. It might be worth it to play more Llanowar Visionaries or another Elvish Visionary. I'm just a little skeptical just because Wall of Blossoms can't attack. I like that it draws a card, but if the plan is to Ivy and like increasing savagery and grow our creatures huge, I think we want all of our creatures to be able to attack, because it's going to be kind of sad if our creatures are Ivy and Wall of Blossoms and we want to like increasing savagery or something. So I might try to drop the Wall of Blossoms for more Elvish Visionaries or whatever. Otherwise, I mean, I think it looks pretty sweet for like kind of a casual, like semi-competitive style, play against your friend style deck. It looks super fun to me. It does look good. Another cool trick, and I don't know if you want to go this direction, but the mutate mechanic is really sweet with Ivy. That's the trick with mutate. I don't know if you're familiar with mutate, but the sweet thing about mutate is mutate, it works with Ivy. So it's going to trigger Ivy when you cast a mutate creature, but then you can put the mutate creature on top of Ivy. So then Ivy will no longer be legendary. So then you can have more than one Ivy on the battlefield. And if you ever have 2 Ivies or 3 Ivies going, stuff gets wild really fast. So I don't know if you'd actually play Auspicious Derricks, but look up some of the less expensive mutate creatures. Could be, even if you don't add them to this deck, and maybe you add some of them to this deck, it's another really fun direction to go with Ivy. So looks very sweet. Thank you for the donation, by the way. So what is actually missing? What is actually missing from these top tier decks? Not much. Like it's so easy to check. Like if we go through the top decks, the top 5 decks in Pioneer, all we got to do is, and this works for any decks on Goldfish, but if you do an edit copy on the deck and just switch the format from Pioneer to Explorer, it'll show you whatever cards are not there. So Rakdos, Urborg, Dreadbore, Rending Valley now coming. So Rakdos is very close to complete. It's missing Dreadbore. That's the one real card that I guess a single Urborg, but essentially just missing Dreadbore. Mono Green Nykthos. What is Mono Green Nykthos missing now that we got Nykthos? The answer is Oath of Nissa, and I guess actually, so the combo is still not there. I think that Nykthos still really improves the deck, but no Chain Veil means the infinite combo isn't going to exist. So I guess that means, actually that does mean that Mono Green's still going to look different. I don't think you're going to see people playing the Teferis and the Nikobo losses and such. It's going to be more straight up Mono Green, make a ton of mana, beat you down. So it is still going to be less powerful, right? Can you still go infinite without the Chain Veil? Isn't Chain Veil essential? But still, even like Pest Cauldron, doesn't that lead to Chain Veil? Wait, you don't need Chain Veil to go infinite? How do you go infinite without Chain Veil? Every time maybe I've just missed the non-Chain Veil version. Winter Melant! Handing out a bunch of gift subs to Chris and Ed Talk and Just Snowy and Liquidy and Grateful Dad. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. I do think Karn will end up getting banned. Phoenix is still racked. They refuse to add the Delve spells. The Delve spells, honestly, people are asking if Nykthos should be banned, and I said it was on the fence. I honestly think the Delve spells are on the fence too. Like, I'm not sure I think those are healthy. Thank you for the gift subs, Winter Milan. I'm not sure that I think they're healthy for the format. Do I have a favorite upstate New York town? So out of places people would have actually heard of, Ithaca, out of all the cities in upstate New York, and Ithaca, I guess it's really more of a town than a city. If you're someone from a real city, it's not that big. But Ithaca is probably the coolest town in upstate New York, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean we're getting there. I know people are pretty critical. We're missing Kytheon, we're getting Brave the Elements, Munival, Big Thalia is still missing, and then Azorius Control I think is just complete. Maybe it's missing like a sideboard card, but we're getting very close. Yeah, Azorius Control is just straight up complete. Even though people have been complaining about the anthologies, we're getting pretty close to a lot of completed decks. That Reddit comment explains it. I believe you. I believe you, Fluffy Bottom. Since it hasn't been answered yet, I'll do my best. This is based on the fact that Karn the Great Creator can both return Pest Cauldron from its side and return it from exile as Restorative Birth. The preparation of the combo is having Nykthos in play with enough devotion, 2 copies of Karn, 2 copies of Kiora Behemoth Gunner spread across your hand, battlefield, and graveyard. Tap Nykthos for at least 14. Cast Karn for 4 mana. First Karn Legend rolled. Karn 2 gets Pest Cauldron. Cast Kiora for 3 mana. Legend rolled. Untap the Nykthos. Restorative Burst. Do it again. Infinite mana. Infinite life. Later you can get the front side of Pest Cauldron with some black sources and mill your... Okay. So there is a combo. That's fair. So there is a combo without the Chain Veil. It does require a lot more, I think, than the Chain Veil combo does, but there still is a way that you can win right away with Green Devotion. You are correct. People complain right until Nykthos was spoiled, everyone loved. I mean, my take was do one or the other. Do one or the other. Either ban it. I'm fine with Wizards banning it in Pioneer, but if you're not going to ban it in Pioneer, then add it to Explorer. Like, I would accept either of those outcomes, although my preferred outcome, like I said, I would like to see Karn banned first if we got to ban something, so I can play Mono Black Devotion and get people with Gary and whatnot. So Alter Combo, we're going to move on to deck number 2. Alter Combo, it's busted. If you want to win, play it. Like, I never played this deck before, and we only played 2 games because it took forever, but the combo does seem legit busted. I would not be the least bit surprised if we see nerfs or bannings based on this combo. And I will say, now that we're playing Historic again, Perpetually is just a mistake mechanic, right? We don't talk about this much because we don't play with these cards much, but my God, is the idea of just something happening forever, it just breaks so much in Magic. No love for Syracuse. Syracuse beats Rochester. Upstate New York City tier rank. Ithaca. Let's see. So Ithaca number 1. Does Binghamton count? Binghamton probably counts. So Ithaca, probably for me, Ithaca, maybe Binghamton, Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester. Sorry, Rochester. Sorry, friends in Rochester. But yeah. All right, so this deck, let's try this Dissident combo deck. This deck actually, no alchemy cards in this one. So this is a viewer submitted deck. I'm unsure how competitive this one is, but the idea of this deck is, what we're trying to do is Jotun Dissident. It says when an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So that's combo piece number 1. You can say we got a lot of artifacts in the deck, but the real combo is animation module. Animation module, when one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a permanent you control. You can pay a mana. If you do, you make a servo, which is an artifact, which then would trigger our Dissident to put a counter on something. So you can see here, these two cards together do a lot of work. Artifact comes into play, we get a counter, we can pay 1, we can make a 1/1, which is an artifact, which will trigger this again. So basically, we can make 1/1s that are getting counters for every mana we have available. The last piece of the puzzle is Ashnod's Altar. If we also have Ashnod's Altar, then we go truly infinite, because we can sack every other servo that we make, if that makes sense, to pay all the mana we could ever want to Dissident, to make all the tokens, and make our board really, really huge, and actually win the game that way. I never really do anything in Albany. Where I am, I guess technically, I always say upstate New York. I just think of anything that's up above the city as upstate. I guess technically, I'm probably more like Western New York, if you had to narrow it down. So I think that for me, I rarely ever do anything in Albany. So I don't know how to rank Albany. Night Elk, welcome to the Fishbowl. Just because Albany is like the furthest away of any of those cities. Night Elk, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 16th month. We can also win like a Scales deck. I didn't mention that. We got Scales and Ozolus, so we can also just do Scales shenanigans. Well, okay. We also have Teething Wormlet, which I'm intrigued by. Is this actually good? How cool is Albany? Should I rank it higher? Water Warrior. Where would you rank it on the tier list of upstate cities? Do you go to the city for anything? On rare occasions. I mean, from where I'm at, New York City's like 4 hours. So it's a meaningful trip. Not that it's like impossible or whatever, but it's not like right down the road or anything. So I don't go to the city that often. Honestly, New York City is like roughly the same as Pittsburgh or Philadelphia, and it's actually Toronto, I think, is the closest like really major city to where I am. A little bit closer to Toronto actually than I'd be very close to Toronto if there was not a lake in the way. If Lake Ontario didn't exist and you could just go straight, you could probably get to Toronto in like an hour or something. But since you have to drive way around the lake, it makes it take a little bit longer. Hey Seth, good to see you. To have played Dimir, Oracle, and Pioneer. Wait, Dimir, Oracle, and Pioneer. Like Thassa's Oracle? Like Inverter Shenanigans? I haven't played that in Pioneer recently. Well, let's run out. Old Patchy. Play the tap land. Hit you with the worm. Well, we're not comboing, but maybe we can just win like a Scales deck unless we get muxed. The area of the country sounds really pretty. Want to check it out someday? It actually is. I will say, when it's so funny because like when I was 18, I could not wait to get away from here. Not a second. But then after I came back, could kind of appreciate, I don't know, there are definitely some cool aspects of upstate New York with like the lakes and everything. There's definitely some very cool aspects of it, especially if you like outdoor stuff. If you like hiking and swimming and anything like that, like, there's definitely some big upsides. Hey Seth, I had to pack my laptop up to head home, so I didn't hear if you finished reading my post about the $60 or $70 budget league before sort of cutting off. Do you still want to see the Karametra deck I make? I was thinking of sending it to Tomer for the next viewer submitted deck. I'd love to see it, Master Frogger. I have not seen it yet, but I would love to. Well, all right. Ashnod's Altar. Wait, can we win? What if we... So this has 3 counters. This has 2 counters. We can make a lot of Thopters. I guess we don't have to do it right now, necessarily. Are they even trying to Muxus us? Is that even a concern? Well, let's go to combat. Counters on Patchy. Hit ya. Opponent. Wow, maybe this deck's just good as a Hardened Scales deck. We got some big boys. Oh, I should update the... I don't think this deck list is totally correct because I made some updates, but close enough. Oh, also, tomorrow, chat, for Much Brew, we're playing a deck people have asked about, which is we're heading to Pioneer proper to see if Gwenna can actually be a combo piece. Doing some more bro comboing. The deck's actually pretty sweet. The deck's very sweet. Here's the deck I made. Really neat interactions and incidentally strong cards. Ooh, munitions expert. Opponent. All right, well, do that. Sack the hanger back. Make some Thopters. About it. Whew. Passes. Hardened Scales 2. Oh, that was so close to being good. Well, counters on a Thopter. Hit ya. For a bunch. Well, okay, let's see if we get muxed. If we don't get muxed, we should be good. Opponent, do you have land in muxes? Land. And not muxes? They might not be a muxes deck. These are not typical muxes cards. So many mons or whatever. Budget Karametra. Karametra is a cool commander. So much ramping. You know, one card you gotta play more of. Not you in specific, but one card everyone should play more of is Attempt with Discovery. I think Attempt with Discovery, I'm curious. The deck looks sweet, motherfucker. I'm curious if any of you play this card and how it works in your play groups. Attempt of Discovery. Wow, opponents just... that cannot be what they wanted to do. Okay. That's not... Oh, that is a goblin. They're going to shoot down a flyer, but we still get the counters on the Ozolith. I mean, this is lethal, right? This should be lethal. So sack Patchy. Counters on the Ozolith. Play the Wormlet. Not that it matters. Go to combat. Make a pretty good Thopter. Nice try, goblins. Wait, do we actually have lethal the previous turn? I didn't actually... Math is for blockers. You should have told me earlier when we were blocking. Tempt with Discovery. No, really. What's your experience been with Tempt with Discovery? My experience with Tempt with Discovery is every time I cast it, I get 4 lands, which is absurd. Like, it is straight up like the best ram spell in the entire commander format. Because every time, here's how it goes. I play it. You got the person next to me. They're going to be like, oh, well, I'm a little late on mana. I really got to get the land. Sorry, everyone. And they get the land. And then the next person's like, well, if they got a land, I got to get the land. And then you get to the third person, and they're like, oh, I'm not the only one that's not getting a land. I can't be behind. Everyone else got a land. And then you get 4 lands, and it's not basic lands. It's any lands. It's like, I don't know. Does it work differently in your play groups? Are there really people who say no to temp with discovery? I have just found it to be, the temptation is too much. It's too much for the people I play with. Oh yeah, if you're playing 6 people or 8 people, it's probably absolutely bonkers. I guess maybe your friends learn and can be, you say no you're a very responsible commander player, Darkin. I don't think I've ever said no. Even if I know 100% that it's correct to say no, I'm probably still saying yes. That's just the kind of commander player I am. Very, very irresponsible, I think. TLDR. A very irresponsible one. Where I live, people have playing only high-powered turbo combo decks. Decide to go against them with this brew. F is for fun for, are we staxing? Is this kind of like Staxy Prisony Enchantress? Yes. 30 land scares me a little bit, but I mean, I guess you're drawing so many cards with Sethis, it's probably fine in this deck. Yeah, this looks brutal. I like you got the Collector Roof, you got the Dreadeth Magistrate. This is almost like, it reminds me of a CDH stack a little bit. You don't have all the like super expensive fast mana, but that looks sweet. Oh, let me see, Marga. Wow, opponent wants no peace. Overcome the goblets. Ooh, Maze's End. Maze's End's one of my favorites. Maze's End in Historic, Maze's End in Pioneer. Every time we play Gates, I just have a blast. We almost played Gates for last week's Against the Odds. I think the other way that you can potentially win with Door to Nothingness in Historic is just playing in 5-color Gates. So yeah, let's talk about the Fireside chat. I did listen to it. It was very disappointing. Have you given the Ramos Door Reanimator deck a try? I haven't. It's a cool idea, and we should probably give it a try. I'm a little nervous that there's so much graveyard hate, but it might be better in best of one. So the Fireside chat. What actually came out of that was notable? Here are my takeaways from listening to it. Wizards thinks everything's going awesome. If you don't think everything's going awesome, like the Bank of America dude, you don't understand their business model, and you're probably, you just don't get it. You don't get it because things are going so well. Yes, it is true that this year the release schedule got messed up because of supply chain issues. So we had times when like 2 sets released on one day, which I think was like Warhammer and Infinity both came out on the same day. That wasn't good. They don't want that to happen. That wasn't their intention. Next year, that shouldn't happen. But they're not really planning on slowing down the number of products. They're gonna try to make sure as well as they can that those products are spread out essentially. So their plan is every 2 months to have a, what do they call it? Tempo set? It wasn't premiere set because it includes like the Lord of the Rings set, but every 2 months have a big set, and there's going to be micro sets in between. And it was really just, honestly, most of it was just a lot of corporate speak. Not much of it really stood out as being all that interesting. Yeah. Oh yeah. They talked a lot about how they decided a few years ago that they wanted to try to make products for different audiences. A few years ago, they only served competitive players, and they decided that the best way that they could grow the game would be to make products for more than just competitive players, which I think is probably true. What that has led to, though, is essentially this product is not for you model. Remember when Wizards used to say that and we thought it was a meme and we kind of made fun of them? That actually is just the model. Like they're thinking now, and they were pretty upfront about this, and they seem to think it's working the way they want it to. So it wasn't like, oh no, this is going wrongly. They pretty much just said, you know, we make these 6 sets a year that are pretty much for everyone. And then there's going to be a bunch of other products that are not designed to be for everyone. Like this product's for this very niche market or whatever, this small group of people. And we think that's working. It's working the way we want to, which maybe that's true. And we need to adjust our mindset on it. Magic 30, they did say straight up, no question that, that it did not, because of the community feedback, they did not release as much as they intended to, which I think was their very nice saving face way of saying, this actually really didn't sell out. That's how I took it, at least. They tried to phrase it in a way that didn't make it sound like, wow, they just wrecked us on this. But to me, that's how it sounded, that we kind of won. Hey, thank you, Ms. Wendigo, for the raid. What's the combo? We haven't run any of the combo pieces yet. Right now, we're looking just like a Hardened Scales aggro deck, which I guess is fine because we're winning. But it's an Ashnod's Altar Wombo combo. I am too. I'm super proud of the community with the Magic 30 stuff. Like, it's the first time it's happened. We've talked about it for so long that if the only message you get to a company is voting with your wallet, that's the only language companies speak. You can complain, you can write angry tweets, you can write Reddit posts, you can write reviews. When it comes down to it, the literal only thing they care about is the bottom line. And that is how capitalism works. So that is literally the only thing they care about. This was the first time that the community really did band together. There was also, I don't know if you watch Rudy videos at all. Rudy, Alpha Investments. I don't know if this... I always take Rudy with a grain of salt. I enjoy watching Rudy because he can be very entertaining. And he does have some very good nuggets of wisdom. But I always take it with a little grain of salt. But apparently on eBay, there are 2 accounts that are going around and like essentially buying all the Magic 30 stuff that's for sale on eBay. Apparently to intentionally try to keep the price high is the theory, like to buy out all the listings to make it look like they're selling for $2,000 or something. But really, when it comes down to it, it's like 1 or 2 accounts that are buying all these products rather than a whole bunch of players that are like, oh my God, I'm going to, buy spend $2,000 on a box of M30. Yeah, Rudy did have a campaign against Magic 30 for sure. It's so funny though, because from that perspective, it's the exact opposite of what we've kind of been complaining about, which is a lot of players, the concern was this product's $1,000. Like, this is way too expensive. If I understand the argument of like from Rudy's perspective or like the high-end financial collector perspective, they also dislike the product, but it's for the literal exact opposite reason, which is this is breaking the reserve list and it might actually drop the prices of reserve list cards. So we can't have Wizards reprinting these cards because that could ruin our reserve list investments. So it's really hilarious that somehow Magic 30 brought those 2 super opposite perspectives together, like in unit. Somehow it brought both very opposite sides of the community together over that one. Hasbro's losing a lot of money for me. Ever since product overload started, I stopped buying booster boxes altogether. It's too much. The secondary market is trash compared to 10 plus years ago. Yeah, I think... Ooh, there's Dissonant. That's one of our big combo pieces. Yeah, I think one of the things that... The Magic market's so funny. I think someone said, I don't know who it was, the first person to say this, but Magic players want their cards to be cheap when they buy them, but expensive when they sell them, which is kind of true. But I think it is true, like, cards costing less is a good thing. But at the same time, as you just kind of mentioned there, if cards cost too little, with the current model of, like, booster boxes, it can actually end up being a bad thing in some ways, because because then you're not sure that you actually want to buy a box. So there's like this weird balancing act where you need cards to be cheap enough that they're accessible and players can play with them. But then they also need to have unless Wizards ever change their model where they get rid of booster boxes and stop, hey, see you, motherfucker, thanks for hanging out, and stop doing the loot box thing, they also need to have enough value that you want to buy a box, because if the cards have no value, then there's really not much of an argument for buying a booster box, because you're going to buy singles. And if no one buys boxes, then the singles get more expensive because there are singles. So it's a very weird economic aspect to it. Decks should only cost a maximum amount. So to get to that point where decks cost a maximum amount, I think that would require Wizards printing cards in a different way. Like, I don't think you can get there with booster boxes. This is infinite combo. We need animation module. That's the last missing piece. We need Dissonant, Ashnod's Altar, and animation. Oh, okay. So we should be able to go infinite here, right? So we play this. Let's see if we can do this properly. So we play animation module. That's going to trigger to put a counter on Dissonant. That's going to trigger the animation module. We're going to pay to put a counter on Dissonant. That's going to trigger the animation module. We're going to sack that servo to make some mana. Okay. Pay, Thopter, counter. Pay, Thopter, counter. And now we need to... Oh, I guess we got to keep going to full... Oh, can we do it here? Haha, we can do it here. All right, an opponent scoops it up. Okay, we did it. That is the combo. Wow, we're kind of winning with these decks. Maybe this deck's actually not bad. I mean, that's a big Dissonant. So yeah, that's the main idea of the combo. Without Ashnod's Altar, it's more just big value, where you can spend all your mana to make a bunch of counters and make a bunch of tokens. But with Ashnod's Altar, it's actually infinite, because you can sack every other token to make enough mana to keep putting counters and keep making tokens. So the end result would be a really big Dissonant. At least the opponent was nice enough to scoop. Yeah. As a general rule, that's my theory of playing digital Magic. Although, really, I realized this other day. I actually fired up Hearthstone for the first time in forever. There's a Hearthstone card, and y'all probably know about this already. It's been around for a while. But there's a Hearthstone card. It's a 8 mana 8/8, something like that. 7 mana 8/8. But it's this big dragon thing that its ability is, if each player has it in their deck when the game starts, each turn is only 15 seconds. I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately. What would you think about something like that for Magic? Do you think there was... Like, it made me realize that we think of time and clock way differently than digital games. In Hearthstone and other digital games, the clock is literally a part of the game. Like, it is literally an aspect of it. Like, winning by clock or playing a card that shortens your opponent's clock, it is actually a part of the strategy. There's no... In Magic, though, that would be very frowned upon. In Magic, clock isn't really considered to be part of the game because we're coming from the paper world. In the paper world, we're used to 50 minutes, and then the round goes to time, and we have these procedures, and it's very frowned upon to try to win by clock. I wonder, do you think that'll change? Do you think winning by clock will ever be part of the game? Because I would argue from a Hearthstone perspective, if you consider clock to be just a part of the game, then not scooping to your opponent's combos is probably fine, right? Because that's just like, that's how the game works. You got a clock, you got a turn timer. You need to build your deck in a way that works within the confines of the game. When in Magic, that would be very frowned on. In Magic, I always scoop to someone's infinite combo. It's kind of expected. It's a common courtesy that if someone's going infinite, you just scoop because you don't want someone to lose to clock. That's not really part of the game. So it's very interesting to me how the clock isn't part of the game in Magic, or we don't consider it to be. But the clock is part of the game in a lot of digital games. Magic is too complicated for win by clock Magic. Yeah, do you think there could ever be speed Magic? That's something else that came up on the podcast that I think is interesting. Because Richard's all into Marvel Snap now. Big time into Marvel Snap. He loves Marvel Snap, and he likes, it makes a lot of sense. It is a fun game, but he also just has a very busy schedule with a kid and work and everything. So he doesn't have time to sit down and play a 50-minute game of Magic that much. That's what I kind of thought. Best of One is kind of as close to speed Magic as we currently have. I'm sure maybe there's a way to do even more with it, but how do we want to do this? Probably just, there could be a sweeper. Actually, let's just Patchy. Run out Patchy. Next turn we can hang her back with all of our mana. Opponent. Speed Magic induces so many mistakes. It is true that Magic is a lot easier when you're thinking about it. That's something I've realized. I have much more luck playing Magic when you actually have time to think. So speed Magic would definitely be a ton different than what it is currently. Opponent. I come from fighting games, which is similar, where going to time is considered lame and people get hated on for playing too defensive. I think Magic might be a similar response. Yeah, I think that is very true. Really? So in fighting games, it's frowned on to play too defensively? I actually didn't realize that. Well, play the land. I guess we're just playing a little hanger back, unfortunately. The Hardened Scales is just so good here. Double Hardened Scales is tough for a lot of decks to beat. Down 2-10 past the turn. We're big at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, even if they sweep, we win, right? They sweep, we get all the counters on the Ozolith and then put them on the top. What do you think about rumors MTG is dying? Is it just MTG players with their two-faced theories again? Yes. Magic isn't dying. I mean, there are... Oh, God. Well, I forgot that Brothers at End is a card. Okay. Wow, they're playing Brothers at End main deck and Gates? Well, that's... And also Golos. Okay. I take it back. We're wrecked. Oh my goodness, that was brutal. That was brutal. Well, Patchwork Automation. And yeah, now we're very likely to lose. Get an altar. Hit you for 3. What a blowout. When are you playing Claw Gates and Popper? I haven't played Popper in a minute, but I haven't played Historic in a minute, and we're playing Historic tonight. So maybe we'll do some Poppering soon. Opponent's going to spin it to win it. How lucky are they? Pretty lucky. Very lucky. I mean, we're dead, right? There's Brotherhood End is a, whew, wow, that was brutal. I do love the Gates. Playing to time is considered rude, especially in a tournament. When you think about how big events are and how long matches can go, everything goes to time. People lame out where they can derail an event fast. Then viewers find it boring. It's so interesting. So also, to add to this conversation about time-ending games, I also was just, I watched some of the World Cup, which I don't usually watch soccer, but it was my patriotic duty, apparently, to watch USA get smacked by Netherlands. But I watched a little bit of the World Cup, and in soccer, and also, like, NFL, which I do know better, it's pretty common for teams to essentially try to stall out. Like, In soccer, they run around and fake injuries. In football, they just kneel it down to like let the clock run down. So it's really interesting how in some games playing to the clock is like part of the game and perfectly acceptable. And then in other games, it is the exact opposite. Like it is very much not acceptable and super frowned on. I read on Reddit MTG is trying to milk the cow before selling out, but they're going to cash everything before selling the company. So is Magic dying? Magic's not dying. Magic players have said Magic is dying for literally the entire existence of Magic. Going back to the early 90s, almost every year there's something that's going to cause Magic to die in the minds of Magic players. There are certainly things to be critical of Wizards. I have been very, very critical of Wizards recently for some of their decisions, for some of their choices. That stuff is all true. Like the printing $1,000 proxies, printing a ton of products. You can pick a ton of different things in the last year or two that have been pretty big issues that the community has brought up. Those things are true. They're all true. No doubt about it. But is Magic dying? No. It is, by a lot of standards, Magic is doing better than it ever has, despite the fact that there are some very legitimate complaints. But just like the amount of money that Wizards has made, there was just a 10,000, the biggest tournament ever, or the biggest event ever in Vegas. So there's a lot of positives. There's a lot of positives there too, essentially, I would say. Can we outscale a Mazes in? Not really. If they're gonna play a gate, it's gonna be tapped. All right, let's play Patchy, grow the worm. Hit our opponent. Basically trying to play around the sweeper as much as we can, because you know it's gonna be coming. About it. I mean, and the other reason Magic won't die is, I mean, there's a bunch of reasons, but one of the reasons is I don't think Magic could die now. Like, I think Magic has such a big community and is so loved that even if the absolute worst happened, which is, let's say Hasbro stops making as much money, and as a result of that, they're like, you know what, we're not going to do this anymore. It's not worth it for us to make Magic cards. And they just shut it down. I think the game would continue. I think that the community would pick it up, and I think there would still be Magic events. There might still be cards. We have examples of, what was the game? We talked about this a little while ago. Is it Netrunner? I think it's Netrunner. That was shut down by Wizards, and now there's a nonprofit run by players who actually are making new sense, and they're holding worlds, and they're holding, yeah, it's like, so I don't think Magic could ever really die. It could get smaller, but I don't even think that's happening now. I think lost in all of this, and lost in like Wizards' occasionally stupid decisions that we have talked about at length, lost in that sea of stuff. Can we win here? 3, 6, 7, 8. We should be able to, right? Play this. Get a bunch of triggers. Grow that. That looks like 12 to me. Here we come, Gates. Here we come. But lost in a lot of these discussions is Magic is still a really amazing game. And there's still a ton of players that love Magic. And there's still a lot of awesome things going on in Magic. For every Magic 30, which is just like a mind-blowingly bad product and flop, in my opinion, there's a Kamigawa. For every negative, there's like something amazing happening. There's TV shows in the works, and everything's growing, and crossovers. And as much as Magic players don't always like Universes Beyond, that's going to be bringing in new players, and has been bringing in new players. That's something else I mentioned during the stream today, is from Wizards' perspective, Universes Beyond has been a huge hit, just for like drawing in new players. And I think I've seen that like I was watching a stream of a tournament like a month ago. I want to say it was DreamHack, the DreamHack tournament. But I was watching the stream and there was some like fighting game dude who was like running DreamHack or whatever, or someone that was running the fighting game aspect of DreamHack. But they interviewed him and he was like, "Yeah, I played Magic a little bit, you know, back in the 90s when I was in school or whatever, but I haven't played it. It's cool to have y'all here though." But they printed these like Street Fighter Magic cards and I just had to get them. As soon as I saw them, they were so cool and I got them sitting on my shelf and they're so sweet. So I think that's like, sure, maybe he was like playing up for camera or trying to be like, whatever, be nice to wizards or something. But really, like, I think that stuff does actually happen. Like, I think there is some authenticity there in some upsides of stuff like the Universes Beyond, even if we might not always like it and our immersion might not be the same and it's not like Magic used to be, you know, 10 years ago. I think there is some upsides to this stuff. Yeah, they said that too. They said that they think Lord of the Rings is just such a big property that one's going to be really big, and they're trying to do more like that. There's more coming that they think people are going to be excited about. So I expect we're going to see more crossovers with other really huge. I mean, really, it was super simple. The 30th anniversary thing. If they sold the 30th anniversary edition for, I don't even know, $50 a pack even. If they sold it for $10 a pack or normal price, it would have been considered to be one of the best things they'd ever done. Like, it would have been beloved in the community. Even if they sold it at a super high, but not like laughably high price like they did, I think it would have been accepted. And then if they had taken like the secret lair drop, the countdown kit secret lair drop, and just made sure there was actually enough supply that people could actually get their hands on it, I think that would have also been considered a great product. So we really weren't that far away. We weren't that far away from a lot of this 30th anniversary stuff actually being really good instead of widely disliked. I've never watched Doctor Who. Is Doctor Who good? Is that actually worth watching? I'm the worst person for any of this Universes Beyond stuff because I don't know it. I either don't know it or I don't like it. When it comes to Lord of the Rings, I just actively dislike Lord of the Rings. That's why I thought it was so funny that Lord of the Rings podcast sponsored our podcast for a couple times, because I have not been quiet about the fact that I just actively dislike Lord of the Rings. Doctor Who isn't for everyone, but I like it. Maybe I'll have to try it sometime. What is okay, so how many doctors are there? And if I did want to, let's say I wanted to give it a shot. Oh yeah, Universes Beyond BoJack. Or like, this is probably the worst idea, but I really want like a NBA Jam. Give me an NBA Jam secret lair drop with a kaboom, like, or whatever. He's on fire. Like, I would totally be about that. Any particular reason for disliking Lord of the Rings? So I just find it incredibly tedious, and it's partly because someone I dated absolutely loved it. It was like her favorite thing, one of her favorite movies, and we had to watch them many, many times. And every time I watched it, it just got more. It's just so long. I'm talking about the movies, and I actually haven't tried to read the books, but it's just so long. If it was like, tell the whole story in one movie length, and I'd probably be on board. But I don't need to spend my entire weekend to hear your story. Come on now, Frodo. Like, I don't need to I need to take 3 vacation days to actually hear your story. That's just too much. Yeah, so that was, if I just watched them once, it probably would have been fine. But the fact that I had to watch them again and again, and I was already like didn't like them that much, it just kind of pushed it over. I heard that the TV show's like, what do you all think of the TV show? I've heard very mixed things about the like whatever $100 million, $1 billion, whatever it is TV show. Is it actually good? From the perspective of someone who enjoys the IP. Might as well make it 1-1. Go attacking. Well, I mean, the question's gonna be, do they have a sweeper? If they have a sweeper, we're probably dead. If they don't have a sweeper, they're very dead. Just read the original books. I would probably enjoy the books. I would probably enjoy it more than the movies. Wait, money laundering operation? The Lord of the Rings TV show? That's actually like a conspiracy about magic. If I've heard that conspiracy in regards to magic, that Wizards started as a money laundering organization. I've heard that conspiracy theory about Channel Fireball. That Channel Fireball was actually started as a money laundering. That's a very popular conspiracy theory. Oh, so Doctor, hey, what's up, Naz? Good to see you. So on Doctor Who, let's say I want to try it as someone who has never watched Doctor Who. I vaguely know what it is, but I've never watched it before. No connection to it. What Doctor or era or season would you point me to for starting? Like, what's the best Doctor? I don't even know how many Doctors there are. I know there's a bunch, but what would be the right starting point, do you think? Do I like campy sci-fi? Gates Ablaze X11, eh? Alright, well. Pony has like 40 lands. We have... Yeah, there's no way. Ain't no way. I mean, we got some counters on the Ozolith. If we had mana left over that we could actually make a creature. Oh, dear God. Archway Angel. Opponent's back up to 28. Yeah, there's no, look at what our opponent's doing and look at what we're doing. There's a pretty big difference here. I mean, we have also been like super mana screwed. We've just been so stuck on lands. Well, pass the turn. Yeah, it's unlikely that we win from here. Start with Tenant, watching Blink. If you like it, keep watching. Okay. Yeah, maybe we should have left up mana. It's tough when we only have 2 mana. But I guess playing extra stuff doesn't do that much, because either we're going to win or we're going to get swept, so... I mean, yeah, you know what, let's just scoop. I don't think there's any point in sitting here as our opponent tries to figure out how to play Gates. Start with Tom Barker. Isn't that like the Blink-182 drummer? So when is the Tenant era? Like, is that recent? Or am I going to be watching, like, I don't know. The show's been around forever, right? Travis Barker, that's what it was. I was close. I thought that the Blink-182 guy was one of the doctors. I was like, okay, I can get behind that. I didn't know the Blink-182 guy was one of the Doctor Who's. Okay, so like mid 2000s. Okay, that's a good era. I will give it a shot. I will give it a shot sometime. Blink is a fantastic episode, but it shouldn't be the first episode people watch. So what episode would you point me to, Pudgels? Well, okay. Ouch. And Ingenious Smith. And Hangabak Waka. It's been going since 1964? Oh! I didn't realize it was going for that long. Flea was my favorite doctor. Megan Thee Stallion. We'll kill it next season. Oh, why are we not drawing lands? Where be the lands? Alright. Well, okay, let's play a Sad Hanger Backwalker, put a counter on the Smith. I don't know if we are going to win this or not. We're going to see. Opponent. Snow-covered plains. Skyclave Apparition. Counter on the Aspirant. And goes attacking, no blocks. I mean, if they just keep playing Skyclaves and we just keep not drawing lands, this is not going to end super well for us. Well, Iron Apprentice. Maybe this deck needs more lands. I feel like we're just constantly fighting the lands the last couple games. It's really hard. The effects of the year are amazingly bad, but the story is amazingly good. I can deal with bad effects for a good story. For me, that's not an issue. I would rather have a good story and crappy effects than good effects and a bad story. About it. I remember I grew up not having TV. So I used to listen to a lot of old time radio. That was my TV growing up. So wow, jeez, really? You're just done? So not having great effects is nothing. If you're used to listening to like radio dramas. The Are You My Daddy episode is sick. Yeah, that was just a weird game. It was probably a shame scoop, but it was just the attack didn't seem that bad. Like, unless they're just gonna wait until they eventually draw an answer, like, what can you do? You gotta get through it eventually. So I didn't think it was that horrible of an attack. I mean, it didn't work out for him, but yeah, I don't know about Steel Overseer in this deck. Did you listen to Laurel and Hardy's Who's On First? I mean, I have heard that before. Although, like, I preferred the dramas more. Like what were they? Like the Shadow or whatever. Those type of like serious ones. It's been a long time. Like any TV, I mean, if you're gonna be a TV show that's been going for since the 60s, I'm sure you're gonna have some good and bad episodes. That's just mind blowing that the show's been going for that long. Like that part by itself is just mind blowing. Like, if you think about The Simpsons is a little over 30 episodes now, and they got super hit or miss. But the fact that they've been going for 50, 60 seasons or something, that by itself is just... that's got to be a record, right? Is it the longest running TV show in the world? Ha. Ha 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 ha. So get a giant killer. Well, let's just play another Dissident. We're not that far away from trying to combo. Play a land. Stone Coil. Serpent X1. Counter and counter. Pass the turn. It wasn't Star Trek canceled for a while? I'm pretty sure it was. Opponent. Inquisitor Captain. Little creature Coco. Did you try the Supreme Pioneer Chaos Draft on Moto? I haven't. Is it good? Oh, Doctor Who took a break for a while. I see. I mean, that's still 63 to 89 and then 2005 to 2023. That's still a lot of years. Still very impressive. All right, Bona hits us. Ooh, Shadow Sphere 2. Well. Animation module. Get some triggers. Oh, awkward that we cannot target our own Stone Coil Serpent. Sure. Opponent scoops it up. Wow, this deck's actually, I don't know about, okay, so Stone Coil might not be worth it. Stone Coil might not be worth it, but the deck's actually sweet. The joy of Doctor Who is fighting about who's the best doctor. Is that what the fandom's mostly about? Who's the current Doctor Who? Is there just like a new one? How often do they change doctors? It can't be like every season or whatever. Oh, the longest. Oh yeah, probably is a one of those daytime soap operas, isn't it? Do those even count as TV? Every 3 or 4 years? Oh, so there's been a lot of doctors then. If they've been doing that for the life of the show, that is an incredible amount of doctors over like 40 seasons, 50 seasons, whatever it is. Oh, I see. So like there's a few seasons that are tied together. It's like a block almost. Like we used to have in Magic. They do one block and then on to the next doctor. So what are you expecting from the Magic Doctor Who crossover? What? So it'll probably be a doctor, right? What other important characters are there? Well, run out the apprentice. Pass the turn. Oh, you think it'll just all be doctors? I guess it could just be a whole bunch of doctors. Well, let's just Stone Coil. X3. Get in with the apprentice. Life without Heart and Scales is a little hard. About it. Are we blocking? I'm pretty sure this is about what Unholy Heat should be in Modern. I think it's 4 damage. Do you think it would see play in Modern? If it was 4 damage? Probably, right? It would still see play. But it wouldn't be a black spell. It would actually be a red removal spell. You don't think it would see play at all? But people would just flame slash? Companions are a big thing in Doctor. Oh no! If they print new companions because of Doctor Who, oh no, that's the risk. That is still my fear of Universes Beyond. I do think that bringing in new players is actually a huge upside, and I like that. But I still think there's a risk in Sneaky Reach. Shame Scoop? Can we get a Shame Scoop? No. But I still do think there's a risk that eventually they're going to just print something that's busted. They're going to do it for like flavor purposes. It's not because it's Universes Beyond, but because they got to do the flavor of the series. I could totally see them being like, oh, companions, that's an important part of Doctor Who. Let's make a companion Seeker Lair drop. That'll be fine. Like, think of the flavor win. Don't worry, we'll power it down. We'll make sure the restrictions are really harsh. And then it just breaks everything. Primetime is an example. The biggest one. Sometimes it can also hit Murktide. Opponent really just absolutely loves the idea of slamming their phoenixes into these Stone Coil Serpents. Is this a trap? Probably. I mean, we can't take the... Yeah, it probably is a trap, but I think we got to do it. Yep. Opponent loses Arclight, shocks the Stone Coil. What about Dragon Rage Channeler? Would this version of Dragon Rage Channeler actually see playing Modern? Well, counter on the hanger back. Have not got much value out of this animation module. Heck yeah. About it. Oh, so chat, I asked this on Twitter, but I need your help with this because this is something I'm working on. There's gotta be some good answers to this. So I'm working on a thing about Magic plays or situations that ended up leading to rules changes. So for example, the sneaky Dryad Arbor in the land block against Nassif, that would be an example. Pith and Needle on Borborygmos, that whole scenario. The Pro Tour riot back in 90, was it 96? New York 96? The Pro Tour riot, anything like that. Can you think of any other of those scenarios where, like, because of a specific play or something that happened at an event, it ended up leading to the rules of the game being changed? All right, opponent killing our stuff, going off, DRCing. Oh, the pen trick. I don't know if that changed a rule. Someone pointed out, and I forgot about this. I think Pleasant Kenobi just made a video about that. Vince, did you steal my content, Vince? Did you see my Twitter post and beat me to the video? Someone pointed out, this was a good one that I had forgotten about, but someone pointed out, oh, we're just dead, right? We are just dead. Someone pointed out that, and I don't know if you remember this, the Pro Tour, the LSV lost in the top 8. And in the very last game of the Pro Tour, he mulliganed to 4. And then right after that, or shortly after that, they announced the London Mulligans. Because, I mean, not a good look, I guess, to have the top 8 of a Pro Tour end that way. And the London Mulligan rule came out of it. That's another good one that I had forgotten about. That is a very good one. Yeah, I mean, so... not official. It wasn't officially created because of that situation, although the timing makes it seem like it probably played into it at least. But Wizards, I don't think Wizards ever actually said, oh, because of this thing that happened with LSV, we're going to make a new mulligan rule. The timing lines up. The timing lines up with this big Pro Tour event that ended poorly. Everyone complained about it, because it was just such an anticlimactic ending to have, like, this huge event end that way. So the timing does line up. Whether or not that was... I would guess it was part of the reason. Let's go with that. I would guess it was part of the reason. Hey, what's up, Boros Paladin? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see ya. Well, unlicensed search should be good here. About it. I mean, that's a case where I don't think Wizards is under any obligation to say it was because of the LSV game or whatever. Like, I don't think that's like a situation where they're like lying, I would say. But I do think it was probably connected to some extent. Well, let's play Wormlet. Oh, this is going to connive? Is that a problem? I mean, whatever. Wormlet. Unlicensed, opponent gets a connive. At least we had to keep the graveyard clean. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was more than just that. I think that was part of it, but I don't think that's all of it. Well, grow the dorks. And you know what? You can have your faithless looting about it. If you want to faithlessly loot, go for it. Do it quick before we eat it. About it. I mean, we're like Ashnod's ultra away from going infinite, I think. Opponent smacks us. Ooh, new judge promos, like today, judge promos. Oh, did you see? We didn't talk about this. We should pull these up. Did you see the WotC cards? The Heroes of the Realm. Wait, what is... Oh, is it... Is it Mycosynth Lattice? Interesting. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. Well, I mean, okay. We might as well eat this. Eat the looting. Abundant. Oh, okay. The race is on. Abundant. Blows up our unlicensers, which we did actually kind of want. However, opponent passes. Play the land. Play the dissident. Animation module. Opponent continues to connive. Jeez. Alright, sure. Sure. Well, grow our dorks. Maybe we can just win this race, though. We're up to 16. We hit you for 10. Our stuff's getting big enough, it's not getting hit by Unholy. So here's what I'm seeing for new judge promos. Old Border Painter's Servant, which, looking pretty good. And then also, this one's a weird one. Unclear why. I don't know why this is zoomed in so much. But Old Border super zoomed in Mycosynth Lattice. What purpose does Mycosynth Lattice serve in 2022, though? They banned it in Modern. And it's not legal. I'm doing well, Deathboss. How are you? It's not legal in Pioneer. It's not really played much in Commander. So I'm not clear on what that card's supposed to do. Opponent Bifrost, jeez. Opponent's got all the tech to deal with our artifacts. The bad news for our opponent is they are kind of close to being dead. Connives. Discards. Turns out, oh, are they just going to win this race? Attacks. Well, maybe they just win the race. We need an artifact. Opponent hits us down to 10. Oh, Hangerback Walker is an artifact. Okay. Wait. Wait. So 4, 5. So this is, let's say 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, play the dissonant. Hangerback Walker, X1. Opponent connives. If they get back their arc lights, I think we're dead. We needed that graveyard hate to stick. So close. I also got foil Sword of Truth and Justice for the Artifacts, Lady in Like, and Excalibur. Ooh, sounds like some sweet altars. If you want a hot take, my hot take of the day is I think that we're gonna see the sword cycle maybe be finished, or at least get another member in Standard. I think it's happening. I think it's gonna happen. Wow. Well, let's see if they can chain together enough spells. How is the luck of the Phoenix? Do they have 3 spells in hand to get back the Phoenixes and steal the win? Oh, they definitely do. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Wow. And that's game. Opponent. Yeah. Wow, we can't block him. And a shock. Oh, that was... Well, Phoenix is a good deck. It's a good deck. What do you think the odds are of them completing the sword cycle, or at least adding to the sword cycle? I also got Optimus Prime and Arky, because I'm old enough to have watched the original Transformers when I was young. Ooh, what? Yeah, how do you like the Transformer cards coming to Magic, Boros? Ah, it's got to. Hey, what's up, Dragon Archmage? I mean, what do we have? Two missing swords now? 2 or 3? We're missing what? Gruul. Missing Gruul. Missing... Oh, dear. What other color combinations? Gruul. Blue-green. Blue... Oh, do we have blue? Do we have Dimir? We need Dimir. Gruul, Dimir. Is that it? Just those two? I think we see them. I think we see them. Every time we've went to Mirrodin, we've gotten swords. Every time we've gotten swords. My fear would be that they bring them back and they're just really bad. I think if they bring them back, they gotta push them. They gotta push them. Make them. Let them be good. Let them be good. Let them be good. What's the worst that can happen? I mean, right now, Children's everywhere. Black is everywhere in Standard. What's the worst thing that happens if they actually just make a powerful sword in Standard? There's so much artifact destruction. It'd be fine. It would be fine. Don't worry about it, Watsy. Just do it. About it. Are they playing blue-white control? Looks like. Well, animation module. As good as this is, I think the Ozolith is even more important. Ooh. Okay. Kills our worm, unfortunately. Well, play the Ozolith. Hit you for 2. Down to 18. I feel like we're about to get farewelled. Do you think we'll get Allied Fastlands in Phyrexia or March of the Machines? It's so hard to predict land cycles. I think we will get them at some point. Exactly when. There's really just no way of knowing. Sure. And make a dork. And grow a dork. I mean, we're good at growing big creatures. Our opponent's just really good at killing creatures. Opponent passes. Play a land. Go to combat. Hit ya. Okay. Make a servo. Hit you for 1. Steal Overseer. Go. Hey, Zed, long time no see. How are the shenanigans tonight? Hey, Mindset Thrall. Good to see ya. How have you been? It has been. It has been a minute. How is life? Shenanigans are good. What effect would you give Gruul and Dimir's sword? Ooh. So didn't they just put search for a land, right? We just got that in one of the Modern Horizons ones. Well, let's go to combat. Counters on a servo. Make another servo. Attack you, attack you. Counters on the dorks. Get a bunch of triggers. Make a bunch of servos. I mean, I guess the question is, do you have farewell? If you have farewell, we cry and cry and cry and scoop. You know what I think this deck might want is creature lands. Creature lands could be really helpful. Oh my god. Oh my god. GG. GG control GG. Yeah, I think creature lands are essential. I think that is That is the thing to add to this deck. This was one that started as a viewer submitted deck, and I made a few changes, but I didn't add creature lands, and I should have. Creature lands are really nice with the Ozolith. If our stuff dies from a Wrath, we can put all of our stuff on the Ozolith and then put out a creature land in one shot. So I've been getting hours cut back in my LGS. I've been derping on stuff, so I can't blame them at all. So I got an overnight shift at a gas station owned by someone I'd worked with previously, 3 nights a week. So my sleep pattern's been a bit all over the place. How's it been? How's the gas station life? Overnight shift at a gas station. Is that like a robbery time? Is that a concern? I had a friend that worked overnights at a gas station, and they were always nervous about robberies because they always said that was the time. If anyone was going to rob a gas station, it would be during the overnight, not to freak you out. I wasn't trying to freak you out about your job, but it just made me think of my friend who always talked about that. There's a land where you can pay 4 mana to add a 1/1. That would be pretty good. Wait, 4 mana to add a 1/1. Castle Ardenvale. Yeah. Make a 1/1 token. Yeah, that would also be a good option. I mean, Mutavault. Once we get the next anthology, then Mutavault can definitely be in here. We could play Mishra's Foundry, I guess. Lair of the Hydra is fine. What are we cutting? We're bringing in Big Karn. Probably like 1 Ozolith and maybe just Iron Apprentice. Let's try it like that. What do you think about the MTG Fireside chat? I mean, it was about what I expected. There wasn't a whole lot that I was surprised by. There wasn't a whole lot that I was excited by. Honestly, to me, it just seemed like a lot of corporate speak. It seemed like Wizards got some criticism. I think the criticism they were mostly concerned about, honestly, was the Bank of America stuff, not our criticism. I don't know if they care that much about our criticism. I think they do a little bit, but yeah, Blinkmoth could be a good addition too. So I think my perception was they got criticism. They felt like they needed to address the criticism. And the way they addressed the criticism was by getting a friendly interviewer to just kind of lob them some softballs, more or less, as far as questions, so they could just kind of make themselves look good. So that was my perception. I didn't think it was outright bad. I wouldn't say any of it was bad, if that makes sense. Although there wasn't much that I would think of as good either. It was just, it's what you expect. It's what you expect a big corporation to say. They say a very controlled, approved by their lawyer type of stuff that is going to settle down their investors. Oh boy, so many lands. So many lands. Too many lands. Let's play Ashnod's Altar. Play a Temple Garden. I did that gig previously, got robbed twice, roughly 7 years apart. Also, the site I'm at now is pretty well set up to save from being robbed, easily including prepaying overnight. Oh, that's good. Well, I definitely am. Oh, Baneslayer Angel. What? Okay. Well, that's not great. Well, take up Karn. Baneslayer. Who plays Baneslayer in 20? Oh my goodness, 2 lands. 2 lands. All right, well, play the land best of turn. It is true. And there were little things that they heard. Wow, another land. Okay, good enough. It was clear that they heard us. Oh, Wallet Slayer. Yeah. Baneslayer, I think, is one of the best examples of power creep. Because it went in a decade. It was printed at M10. It was the best creature of all time. It was called the Wallet Slayer because it was $50. I don't remember the exact price, but it was absurdly expensive. The most expensive card in Standard. It was played in Control. It was played in Aggro. It was played in everything played it. It was the jaw-dropping, most absurd creature that anyone had ever seen. And then it came back 10 years later, and it was nothing. It was a bulk. It was literally an unplayed. Oh no! Magic gods. Why? Why can't you mix together these two hands into one playable hand? Well, probably gonna have to do another game because we're not going out like this. Oh no. But yeah. Yeah, he would splash for Blade Slayer and basically anything. It was just like so far above the curve. And it went from that to essentially being a bad card. I don't want to say it was bad. It like very rarely showed up in sideboards a little bit, but it was essentially a bad card when it came back in 2022. Any announcement for our opponents. Oh, if only we were hitting land Magic the Gathering cards. Well, play Apache. Hit ya for 2. Owner done taps. Hey Seth, I missed for you in red deck for Modern, so I made one in Commander. Would you ever consider playing the deck for Commander Clash? Ooh. Ooh. Let me take a look. Okay. Opponent. Counters for days, apparently. I'll hit you for 3. What counter is this? Undersimplify. Choose target spell. If it's a creature... Oh, this is a card I've never seen before. If it's a creature, it gets -2, -0, perpetually. Counter it if it's a spell. Well, Hardened Scales. Animation module. Mega Dork, no attacks. Opponent has Baneslayer again. The mono red, I love the idea of mono red prison. I think it's a really neat idea. The only thing I'll say is like, often I try not to play blood. We were talking about this at the beginning of the stream, so I love the idea, and I don't want to sound negative about the idea, but I think of Commander so differently than I think of 60 card formats that I don't know if I could go and just. Wreck people with Blood Moon on Commander Clash. Like my philosophy of Commander is I want everyone to have fun and have a good time. So I love the reference. Maybe I can find the right week for it. There might be the right week where I could make it work, but in general, as much as I love Blood Moon, I try not to play it in Commander. How do you feel about Hexproof being turned into Ward now that it's more established? I mean, Hexproof was a messed up mechanic. Wow, that was pretty good for our opponent. And the sideboard Baneslayer is incredible for our opponent. Going to steal them the win unless we top deck something here. And even if we do, they're probably gonna have a counter because they have Memory Deluge. Yeah, maybe something like CDH. It would have to be kind of a mean themed sort of week. So I'll definitely keep it in mind. Well, it's not any of those things. I'll definitely keep it in mind for a week like that. But I love the reference. I do miss mono red. Shroud, I think, is apparently Magic players just aren't smart enough for Shroud. Is the issue? We're just not. We're not. Our brains cannot comprehend Shroud. I feel like Shroud is the best version of that mechanic. Or Shroud is a good version of that mechanic that I wish still exists. I think Shroud is actually like, it's pretty interesting, but that's not how cards are made in 2022. In 2022, you can't, there's no downside. You can't have downside. That's not allowed. I kind of miss that. I kind of miss when things could have a drawback. I mean, I think Ward is fine. I think that Hexproof is a negative. Hexproof is a bad mechanic. That it's, I guess, okay existing in very rare cases. And Wizards has mostly learned this, but you can't just jam Hexproof on 1-drops and 2-drops. Like, those were just mind-blowingly bad choices by Wizards. So I think they figured that out with Hexproof. Hexproof existing and being put on Carnage Tyrant or whatever, that's fine. If you want to put it on some 8-drop or something, that's acceptable. I think Ward is a nice middle ground for earlier game creatures where you can take an you can take and have a sort of protection that's going to save your creature for a while. Like Patchwork is actually pretty hard to kill before turn 4-ish. So it gives you a few turns to like get going, get some counters on it. It's not just going to get shocked immediately or whatever. So there's a lot of upside there. But it's also not going to allow the combo potential of something like Boggles, where Soul's Garmage, which I think is good. I think that's about where you want the mechanic to end up, honestly. Well, Iron Apprentice, Mega Dork, pass the turn. It's gonna be interesting about it. Shroud reduces the total amount of play that can be done with the creature. Suddenly equipment, combat tricks, enchantments are useless cards, not worth including. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes it fair, really. But that was like the problem with it from Wizards' perspective, is apparently, especially newer players, just thought it was counterintuitive that there would be a drawback. You can't have drawbacks in Magic. That's not allowed. That's not a thing. But they thought it was weird that they wouldn't be able to target their own creatures, so they played it wrong. So Wizards was like, well, if they're gonna play it wrong anyway, we'll just take and make it hexproof. And then hexproof led to Boggles, and everyone hated hexproof. And then they got rid of it. Yeah, I mean, the flexibility of Ward is cool. I like that Ward can be everything from... I feel like this deck... So, if we don't combo, this deck really struggles if we don't have... This deck's so ridiculous. This deck really struggles if we don't have Hardened Scales. Oh boy, it's got just such really clunky. Yeah, I think this deck, maybe it's more fun than good. Like, it's cool when it works, but it's really clunky, unfortunately, which we're kind of seeing there. Like, when it works, it's really sweet, but then sometimes you just draw like a bunch of animation modules, we get stuck on lands a lot, and the deck just kind of doesn't do anything. There's not much in between with this deck, really all or nothing. Shroud, better than Hexproof, over Hexproof, is like how creatures that come off suspend have haste. People expected it playtesting it, so I changed it accordingly. Although really, I mean, I think that is true, although Shroud isn't that unintuitive, is it? Like, doesn't it just say on a Shroud card, like, no one can target this with anything? I mean, I guess, like, I think it's that if you're a new player... And we've seen design trend more and more this way, that you just, like, you don't think there should be any downside. Like, you should be able to do whatever you want with your stuff, and there should be no downside. I feel like that's the heart of the matter. Maybe drop Overseer and Serpents for the green-white creature. Yeah, that could be worth trying. Overseer, I feel like, is a little slow. Serpent seems bad because it doesn't work with Dissident. So I think this was the original viewer submitted deck. The idea of like Kayla's Reconstruction and Collected Company is kind of cool, but the land situation, 19 lands trying to get to Kayla's Reconstruction is already one thing. And 23 creatures is just not a lot for Coco. Although I do think Reconstruction, if you can make the mana work, yeah, I don't know. There's gotta be some options. Maybe going bigger. Definitely, just if you do go bigger and add more expensive stuff, you gotta add more lands. We're already, well, we got Hardened Scales for days. We've already been kind of struggling with lands some games, so I think that's a big one. Make sure you add the lands. Oh yeah, I think I ended up cutting Coco from the list altogether. I think that Coco on the original list was bad. Kayla's Reconstruction to get Ashnod's Altar is pretty sweet. That is kind of intriguing. Because Kayla's Reconstruction can actually hit artifacts, which is an upside that I kind of forgot about because I'm used to playing it in Soldiers where it's all creatures anyway. But that is one of the tricks. Yeah, Shadow. Although the only thing about Shadow is, do we really need a million flying mechanics? Same with like horsemanship. Horsemanship is like a pretty flavorful mechanic, but how many versions of how many versions of flying do we really need? Does Magic need another flying mechanic? Yeah, I think Coco clearly should have had more green mana. Based on Kayla's Reconstruction being triple white, which is like more or less limited to mono white decks, or very two-color decks for the most part. I think Coco is probably a bit too splashable. I kind of miss Landwalk. I mean, I think with all the changes, there ends up being upsides and downsides. Are we just dead? Is this like Reckless Charge? Kill you? One of those. Okay, play with Fire or Face. Better than Reckless Charge kill you for the time being. Opponent makes their things huge. Symmetry Sage, So wait, I still don't understand this in Historic. So if they nerf a card, when it rotates, they revert the nerf. But if they buff a card, it lasts forever, even once it rotates. Is that mostly where this is at? Because I still don't understand why Symmetry Stage, this rotated, right? But it's still better than it should be. Honestly, the digital only cards in Historic bother me way less than cards changing in Historic. That's the part I like the least, I think. I can wrap my brain around the digital only cards just being like Modern Horizons. The weird digital only version, but still just like Modern Horizons. Like, oh, we printed these cards directly into Arena. I can kind of wrap my brain around that, but why is this have more toughness and why is it killing me way more quickly than it should be? That's the part that still gets me. Oh, kill the Belmore. Tag up the Hanger Bagwalker. Yeah, I wonder, why did we get rid of Landwalk? Did Wizards ever clarify that? Was there ever a reasoning for it? Well, take the altar, see if we can get it down. Oh, we'll see. I mean, we can make infinite flyers if we're alive next turn. If we're not dead to Symmetry Sage. About it. Yeah, Shadow, I guess, does have a twist to it where it also makes it so it can't block, that's a little bit different. I guess horsemanship is literally just flying. About it. They didn't like evasion that only worked against certain colors. Same with fear and intimidate. I guess that makes sense. They don't want people to be punished just for playing their deck. I mean, I agree with, I guess I kind of agree with the line of reasoning, even if I, oh, jeez. Even if I don't agree with the outcome. Oh boy. Oh, we're so close. So close and so far. So there's no way we can do it, right? So we play this. This is going to go to 14, but then we're just going to... we're going to die to a burn spell. We're going to die to a burn spell. Animation module. Trigger. Oh, wait. Oh, this does work. Decline. This does another mode. Pay 3, choose a counter on target perimeter player. Ha ha. Ha ha. Animation module, the hidden mode that never does anything, comes through. Okay. Hidden mode. Boy, Hardened Scales is really good when you have them. When you don't have them, you play a bunch of 1/1s, but when you do have them, look out. Yeah, I'm surprised we survived that. We still get protection, but rarely, right? Protection used to be pretty common, got taken away completely, and now we get it in rare situations, I think. I think that's where we're currently at. Well, this could be a combo hand. We need the Dissident, but we got all the other pieces. And many animation modules. Well, land and a hardened scales go. Opponent. Looking at the hardened scales. And ooh, Arcanist. Well, that's a scary card. Well, play the land. Animation module. Iron Apprentice. Pass the turn. About it. Are we dead? When is the less protection spell we've gotten? Maybe we are not getting them again. Maybe it all is just word now. Let's see. Release date. Stasis Coffin. Technically, Stasis Coffin. Infinity. So we get them outside of standard, I guess. Like green sleeves. Green sleeves. So I guess it's been a minute since we've had them in standard. Actually, no, we have Catilda in standard now, but I guess it's protection from vampires rather than an impactful protection. So I think we still are like Catilda protection from werewolves. So we get like weird fringe kind of like flavorful protections, but it seems like the real protection spells have mostly, oh boy, what a blowout, have mostly shifted to ward, which is probably wise, because as we've seen with ward, they can make ward anything from almost non-existent or like just like very slightly annoying to essentially hexproof if they want to, like just by twisting the knobs. You know, wizards, they love, oh, that's not good. They love it. They love twisting those knobs. Opponent kills it. Wow, this. See, I haven't played Historic in a while. Apparently, everyone who plays Historic all the time recently knows this, but this Wizard deck seems busted. Like, Reckless Charge is just such a ridiculous card in this deck. I think we're essentially just dead. Yeah, I mean, there ain't no coming back from here. Opponent in the tank plays a tap land. Patchy, not gonna do it. And well, so what did we learn? What did we learn about these decks? I guess we're not gonna go out with a win, unfortunately. We tried. So what did we learn? What did we learn about Historic? What did we learn about these decks? And so I think this last deck we played, we got to see the like really nice upside of some powerful stuff. We did get to see the combo go off, which was cool. Overall, though, I think it's a work in progress. I think this is one, maybe it can get there. Maybe with enough tuning, it could actually be pretty competitive. For now, it seems like a fun kind of jank brew that definitely has some potential upgrades. The other one, she's the Rakdos deck. We didn't get to the Karn combo deck. The Altar combo deck. The Altar combo deck seemed kind of busted, although it is super obnoxious to click through, and there is some like weird risks of timing out, so I think that's worth keeping in mind as well. But anyone else deeply depressed about the things said in Hasbro Fireside Chat? I mean, I wouldn't. My take is I wouldn't read too much into it. That to me, it just felt like kind of boilerplate corporate speak that was just kind of a. Not really saying much of anything. So being disappointed that they didn't say more positive stuff, that makes a ton of sense. Hey, good game, Arvez. So being disappointed because they didn't pay positive stuff makes sense. On the other hand, I don't think they said anything unexpectedly negative. It was just all like, it was all nothingness. It was all just like corporate speak nothingness, but only has fun when he has a green screen. Wait, what do you mean? I'm so confused. It sounded like slush and continue to give us money. I mean, basically, everything's cool. Don't worry about it. It's fine. We're doing great. Everything's going well. Just wait till next year. It's going to be awesome. There wasn't, if the hope was that they were going to like, be like, wow, we messed up. We're so sorry, everyone. We're not going to do it again. That, I don't know if that's a realistic expectation of a company, unfortunately, but that definitely didn't happen. So I don't know. For me, I listened to it. I was like, this just doesn't, I don't know. It would have been nice if they came out and said, wow, we hear you. We're going to lower prices. We're going to, like, you know, whatever. Make sure the release schedule is something that's gronkable to everyone. That would have been great, but I don't know. I didn't have that expectation. It was basically what I expected, which is get the suits out there, lob them some softballs, let them tell the investors that, you know, we're gonna make you a ton of money. Don't freak out. That's fine. Everything's gonna be cool. So. Oh, did I miss the timing? Did I miss the timing? My bad, devil. Anyway, everyone. Yeah. Anyway, reminders. Replay YouTube, that's where you can find the old streams. Normal YouTube. Tomorrow, we're doing some pioneering with Gwenna that you're going to want to check out. And one more reminder that our sponsor tonight is Card Kingdom. If you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish. If you get a free goldfish sticker. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Y'all are amazing and awesome and spectacular. And I love each and every one of you. Also, early stream on Tuesday, much like this Tuesday. So next stream, more like noonish probably, because there's Phyrexia spoilers we can watch together. So early stream on Tuesday. On that note, everyone, have an amazing night. Have a great day. I love y'all. And yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday for some more fun. Until then, everyone, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you soon.